When Dr.Mike hit me up on Instagram and was in my DMs, I went to the set the next day and showed Isa Briones, and I was the coolest kid on set that day because you're a rock star. Oh my goodness.
On this episode of The Checkup, we're joined by the one and only Noah Wyle. In case you missed the last 30 years of medical dramas, let me fill you in. Noah Wyle is an award-winning actor who gained nationwide recognition for Dr. John Carter on ER, a role he played for well over a decade, which literally helped define modern medical TV dramas. But now he's back in the hospital with HBO's hit new series The Pit, where he also serves as executive producer and writer. The show has quickly become your doctor's favorite medical show, known not only for its medical accuracy, but also for its authenticity with frontline healthcare workers. Given that our medical reviews of the show have also garnered some attention, I was lucky enough to visit Noah and the team on set a few weeks ago and discuss our shared admiration for each other's work. It's also worth noting, beyond his screen work, Noah is actively involved in humanitarian and medical causes, supporting organizations that aim to improve global health and the well-being of frontline healthcare workers. In this episode, we dive into a range of juicy topics, from his medical expertise as a Hollywood-trained doctor to what we can expect from season 2 of The Pit. Cannot be more excited to welcome Noah Wyle to the Checkup podcast. Let's get started. Well, look, you've mastered the art of being a doctor on television. I mean, if we're being honest about it, you have more medical training than I do. During residency, you're spending 3 years in the hospital. I've been practicing for 10 years, but in terms of seasons, you have more years spent in a hospital than I do. What's that like?
Yes. It's when I think about how that time could have been applied in a trajectory that actually would have landed me some sort of degree. It seems kind of pathetic how much time I've spent in hospitals and around doctors and how little I actually know. But yes, it's gratifying. It's also incredibly ironic given my academic record.
Were you not a good student?
I was, it's funny. Recently, we had our 9-year-old tested because she's had some issues in math, and we were wondering if there were some cognitive things. And it came back that she was very mildly ADHD. And as the doctor was describing her findings from the test to us on a Zoom, my wife and I, about 10 minutes in, I noticed that my wife and I were getting really jittery and and just sort of antsy. Yeah. And I realized, oh my goodness, I think I'm self-diagnosing myself at the age of 54. Somebody's got mild ADHD. And when I reverse engineer that back at being in school, it just tracks that if I had any interest in it, then I had the ability to deep dive focus on it like a laser beam. And if I didn't, then getting me to pay attention was just like pulling teeth. So yes, my math and science were difficult struggles for me. I appreciate them. I'm more interested in them now than then. But yeah.
What changed that you've become more interested?
I think I stopped looking at things in a linear way and started looking at systems and started looking at things and how there's cross-pollination and interconnectedness and all these different things. Somebody would, you take a drama class and they talk about the mathematics in a poem, and you're like, what, mathematics in a poem? And suddenly they unlock math for me in a different way, Or I want to learn more about aviation, so suddenly physics doesn't intimidate me anymore because it's a goal to get to understanding the mechanics of flight, right? Yeah. So it had to align with something I was actually interested in.
Well, isn't that just a description of why our education system perhaps isn't the best?
One of the many. One of the many.
Because if you think about it, a good educator will find a way to motivate a student.
Yes.
By making math artistic or the other way around. And I remember I had a mathematician on this show who was telling me how beautiful math is in her mind. And I've never been someone who loved math, even though my mom was a math professor, PhD, and loved it, tried to pass it on to me. I viewed it as work, as something I had to sit and drill and do over and over. And she's viewing it as a garden of numbers. And the way she's describing it just becomes so motivating and exciting to learn as opposed to a chore. So I think really it's the educator.
I'm rereading Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance for somewhat creative reasons having to do with season 2 and Robbie. But they break he breaks that down into the world between, you know, a romantic viewpoint versus a classical viewpoint. One appreciates the aesthetics, and one is more interested in sort of, you know, components and what makes it up. And it's very rare that you find the combination of both of those sensibilities. That's what I've been trying to figure out for myself, is how to combine those.
Is that because you see how medicine is as much science as it is an art?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
People miss that a lot. And I think that's a big reason for why misinformation is so prevalent on social media. Because in order to practice good medicine, you need to be able to hedge your bet every time, which makes you look a bit uncertain. If you come in with abdominal pain, I say, well, it might be appendicitis, but it also might be these 3 other things. I'm being a good doctor because I'm telling you the truth. I can't with 100% certainty tell you what's going on. And then even treatment-wise, I can tell you what is the first line of treatment, but then also if it doesn't work, what's the second, third, fourth, and fifth. So again, we're hedging. Whereas a lot of these influencers on social media, people on television who've done snake oil stuff, they come in, they say, you have headaches? You're not consuming enough pink Himalayan sea salt. That's the problem. So you look at it and you're like, wow, one seems way more confident than the other who's constantly hedging his bet. But in reality, that hedge is way more honest.
Well, they go even farther to say, doctors will tell you.
Yeah, doctors didn't tell you it's because of the pink Himalayan
But they don't want you to know.
Yeah, exactly.
Big Pharma doesn't want you to know. Yeah.
Have you ever fallen victim to any misinformation that you've seen? Where you're like on a show and then you learn something?
Do you know how many ab exercisers I've purchased in my life? I have
fast abs, like one of those.
I have a whole room in my house that's just dedicated to, it's like a museum to every ab device ever invented. Rollers and wheels and electrostimulations and oh my God, I'm such a sucker.
That was your.
If there's a quick way to good abs, man, I'm on it.
Well, they say abs are made in the kitchen.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I make a lot of abs.
So maybe the room where you chose to build the abs was the wrong room.
Wrong room.
Why abs? Why was that always a goal for you? Or was it a role that you were?
It was just the you know. We all have our body dysmorphia. That's
Sure.
the one area of the body that I'm like,
fair.
Genetically,
You would
doesn't seem like wily men ever got them.
Okay.
And then I have a son who's 22 and a bit of an Adonis, and completely dispelled the theory that wily men can't put on dense muscle.
Okay, there you go. So you just didn't have the right tool.
Yeah,
You got to ask him what
or
tool he's
motivation,
using.
perhaps, or discipline.
That's fair. Well, look, you were talking about almost downplaying the idea that instead of going to medical school or getting a proper education, you chose this path. But you've actually done a tremendous service to medical providers, potential medical providers, people who ended up in the field because of you. I know you tell stories frequently of folks coming up to you. How does that happen? How does someone watch ER, The Pit, and then change their life trajectory on it? How does that feel for you?
It's pretty heady, you know, and very, very flattering and gratifying. It was most profoundly felt for me during the pandemic when I was receiving a lot of mail from first responders who were just saying, you know, everything from we could really use Carter out here to, you know, thanks for getting me into this or keeping me inspired while I'm going through it. And I felt really gratified and also so useless, so skillless at that moment to really be able to help in any meaningful way. That was the catalyst for wanting to explore a show around what was happening in healthcare again. And I reached out to John Wells and said, you know, maybe we should get into this again. And that's where The Pit kind of came from, was feeling like I wanted to be contemporary and relevant in these practitioners' lives with what they were going through now and not just be anecdotal to what they did in the 90s. And so that's what we ended up doing. But to answer your question even more specifically, like it's amazing. It's amazing to think that you've done something with your life that inspired someone to go into a service industry where they may have had a hand in saving countless lives.
You're again discrediting yourself.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of people who use ER as the reason why they went into medicine is huge. And I'm not talking about this from a philosophical standpoint. I interview residents for our residency program, and it's referenced so often. And now that conversation is shifting to the pit with med students being excited about it. I speak very frequently at colleges, medical associations, and the pit comes up almost every time.
Out of necessity, we needed to have another show to inspire a new generation to go into these fields.
Now tell me, why did it go to the pit versus ERV2?
Well, originally that was the delivery system we thought would be easiest to employ. And then we got into a little bit of a rights debacle with the Crichton camp, and it became a non-starter. And then, while we were licking our wounds and kind of doing a postmortem on where it went wrong, we actually found that it was probably better that it didn't come as an ER reboot, because it would have had so much attendant narrative baggage,
Right.
so many Easter eggs you'd want to pay off for fans and who's going to come back, that it would have, I think, muddied the waters of the message we were trying to say about what's going on right now. This allowed us
Start fresh,
to
clean
take
slate.
the same Trojan horse, but put a whole new cast of characters inside of me, and then, start fresh.
What I liked about the character of John Carter is I related to him to some degree. He came in happy-go-lucky, maybe not the sharpest doctor as an intern, and then really had a turnaround where there was a skill set learned. There was a person who was very capable at their job. Did you realize that would happen with his character arc, or was that something that developed organically?
Well, you never have a crystal ball on how long shows are going to run for, and there was no guarantee the ER was going to get past the pilot. But I did recognize in the pilot script that where all the other doctors were proficient second, third, fourth years, I was the med student. So the arc ahead of me would have been the largest if the show continued. And then because I was the stumbling, bumbling medical student and somewhat the comic relief, that character's maturation and embracing of his own manhood, his own skill set as a physician, and in his particular case, his own blue-blooded upbringing, which he was sort of living in both guilt and denial about, all kind of paced out beautifully over 15 long years, and afforded me an opportunity to play a character in a way that very few actors are ever given a chance to, which is to basically grow up inside of it.
Yeah, that's 12 seasons because you took some time off.
I did the first
for your
11
child, right?
seasons, a few episodes of the 12th, and then took 13th and 14th off and came back and did sort of half or eight episodes in the 15th season.
I mean, you sort of know what a doctor is going through because that wasn't filmed in Los Angeles, right?
ER was filmed in LA.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, we filmed at Warner Brothers, the same studio where we're shooting The Pit. I can see the sound stage where we filmed ER from where we work. Across 300 feet in 15 years, 15 pounds, and,
So when you were referencing earlier that the last 10 or 15 years you weren't filming in LA, these are future projects that you were working on after ER?
After ER, everything I did, I worked on a series that shot in Portland, Oregon. I worked on a series that shot in Toronto. I worked on a series that shot in Vancouver. I worked on a series that shot in New Orleans. And then
So when the
odd
idea of
jobs.
the Pit came about, were you like, please film it here, not
Yes,
in
well, the
Pittsburgh?
benefit of working with John Wells and Scott Gemmell is we're all old men who are getting sort of fussy about not wanting to be away from home much. So that was the first flag we planted, was let's plant it in LA. And I've also become a bit of a outspoken advocate for keeping work in LA because we've had a real exodus the last few years. We lost 21,000 jobs in Los Angeles between 2021 and 2023. Between the pandemic and the strikes, it's been devastating to our industry. And then these latest fires were even more crippling because a lot of the people that lost homes were people that have been working in our industry for generations. So I've become part of a grassroots campaign called Stay in LA that's trying to get both the tax credit lifted for production in California and to ask studios and streamers to allocate a little bit more of their budgets to keeping work in the epicenter of where it all started.
Wow. So you're advocating not just for doctors, but also
I'm advocating for everybody.
for
man.
everyone.
I'm actually going to DC at the end of next week with the nurses union to speak to a couple members on the Hill about a few pieces of legislation aimed at both equal pay and workplace protection.
Which is important given the fact that healthcare abuse is so underreported. sometimes completely neglected, and there is no policy on the books of mandatory sentences.
It's a federal crime to assault a
Bus driver, MTA
bus driver.
worker.
Yeah. The idea that you can assault a practitioner or frontline worker without penalties is egregious, and the incidents are, I'm sure you know, they're happening more and more frequently as a byproduct of patients waiting longer and longer and coming in sicker, as a byproduct of overcrowding, and the whole thing is systemic. But at the end of the day, it's the people that are taking care of us that are getting hurt.
Yeah. What difference in your life from taking care of your own health have you changed in playing these roles as a doctor for so long?
Like any doctor, I don't think about my own health at all. We're immortal, aren't we, Mike?
Yeah. Well, I love that ironically, we're almost both Dr.Mike.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that makes sense. It's like two
Look at us in our white sneakers and our crossed legs, doppelganging each other.
But doctors are the worst hypocrites.
Yes.
And I think it's partially for dark reasons. The fact that we've seen so much that our tolerance of what bad is so much more broad than the person who, oh no, my stomach hurts. Is it something terrible? Whereas we've seen someone's just bowels come out and we say, oh, well, that's fixable.
I also think, and this is speculation because again, I'm not a real doctor, but you have to compartmentalize to such a degree.
True.
That I find the same thing's true when doctors, misdiagnose their own children frequently. Mm-hmm. And there's ethical rules about not treating somebody that you have an emotional relationship with for that reason. I think that bleeds compartments for physicians. When you take that focus that's always outward gazing and apply it inward in any way, it throws the calibration off a little bit. So I think you could say it's darkness, but I think it has more to do with self-protection. You know, once you open that door a little bit to your own vulnerability and admit that you have the same potential to fall prey to everything that you're treating, it's sort of slippery slope. I think there's a stage in medical school that, from what I've read, that people go through this hypochondriatic stage.
Exactly. It flips.
Where suddenly you get this education and you realize, holy shit, all this could happen to me. I think I have all of this all the time. And then you kind of have to tamp that down and put it in its proper perspective, right?
Does that happen with acting as well?
Yes, I think it's sort of, like chess playing. When you learn how to play something that is infinitely complex, the more you realize the variables you'll never learn, the more you get humbled by the prospect of the education, I think that's true with acting, that you learn mechanics and then that just frees you to learn how much more there is to play with, right?
Right. It's frequently the line that folks say about the smartest people in the room are not who know the most, but who have the best questions.
I try to preach that to my kids all the time. Just be curious.
Yeah.
Just be curious and all the doors were open.
Yeah. Was that your strategy for your success?
I think I've been really sort of mercurial in the way that I get turned on by all sorts of different things, and because of that, and occasionally I'll find a reason to draw from it. Writing has become a really significant part of my life, and writing on the Pit was one of the great achievements I've had so far. And it was the first time I realized that as I was running a medical show, I was pulling in things that were interesting to me about philosophy, or things that happened when I was a kid when my grandmother died, or something that, a joke that I have always loved. And you realize, no, this is all there for a reason. I've collected it all. I didn't know why, but there is a practical use for it eventually if you get there long enough.
Well, for someone who's writing the Pit, acting on the Pit, EP,
and I'm going to direct this season as well.
And direct. I met you in the writer's room a few weeks ago. You guys are not just taking this seriously from a fictional standpoint. You're also taking it seriously from a factual standpoint. And that is rare. As someone who, I guess my career has become reviewing medical dramas, it's amazing how accurate, and it's not even truthful. It's almost written by someone who's been there before.
It is. We have board certified ER docs.
Yeah, so tell us about the process of how you incorporate people's experiences, knowledge, in addition to making it a functional show.
We have on our staff several secret weapons. The biggest one is a man named Dr. Joe Sachs, who is the technical advisor on ER and also a writer and producer, board certified ER doc. And Joe has what he preferably calls his tickle trunk. And we say, Joe, we need a really, harrowing case. And Joe goes, clamshell. And he brings to bear all of his medical career, as does Dr. Mel Herbert, as do our 3 on-set technical advisors, as do all the trauma nurses that we employ as our background. There are so many experts floating around that we mine not just for their cases, but we ask the more uncomfortable questions, which is to sort of, open their hearts and tell us how it felt and what they were afraid of and when they were, most confident, least confident. And those are the things that we sort of are more interested in. And I think those are the things that people are responding to more. Is the medicine is the soundtrack, but what you're watching is energy, behavior, relationship, hierarchy, confidence. Those are the things that are most relatable to people.
Do other shows not hire this level of staff to make sure that
I think other shows don't care as much to make that the point of the thesis. We came into this to be the most medically accurate show ever made.
That was the strategy.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
That was what we were doing, was trying to make a love letter to frontline workers and first responders to say, we see and hear what you've been going through the last several years, and we're going to build a show around a really great doctor who's having the worst day of his life because of it. And everything else will follow suit from there. We pass around pictures from other shows. There was one where they'd intubated somebody with a yank hour and taped it in.
There's a lot. There's people with Brillo pads as defibrillators. There's a lot of...
We pass those pictures around as a point of pride that we take it as seriously as we do. But
all the gear on set, when I saw...
It's crazy, right?
Is you guys have a functioning hospital on the set.
I hope we can donate it to a real ER when we're done.
I mean, I hope that they won't be some practical issue of, it's not certified. It
all works great. It's really impressive, our set. It's so impressive. It didn't impress my 9-year-old who walked onto it thinking it looks like a hospital. I was expecting Hogwarts, and you're showing me. I'm like, look, this is a real hand soap dispenser.
You're like, this is an X-ray machine. It's a portable chest X-ray.
Didn't care.
Wow. Well, how did the premise for the 24 hours or the 15 hours come about? Was that an initial point that you wanted to start with, or did that come about in the brainstorming?
That was Scott Gemmel's contribution right off the bat was, I want to do something that reinvents the genre that we know so well. And he brought 2 sort of pillars along with that. One was, I want to do it in real time and build a pressure cooker that takes place over a full shift, where you're embedded like you would be with a combat unit, or in the backseat of a squad car on a ride along, where you can turn your head, but you can't get out of the car. You're just going to have to ride it. And I don't want there to be any music. I don't want there to be any external artifice that could take a viewer out and say, oh, now I'm supposed to cry because I hear violins, or now I'm supposed to get excited because I hear percussion. I just want the soundtrack to be the technical jargon, the machines in the room, and maybe a little accentuated sound design, heartbeats, and so forth.
It's palpable. And the last time I got the same feeling that I got watching The Pit was probably Saving Private Ryan. I don't know if that played a role in your thought process, but do you see the symmetry between the...
Yeah, it was especially the opening sequence in Private Ryan, just that unrelenting, that's the beach, here we go.
Yeah, because it also, if you think about what the story is, it's guys going to get another guy, but the characters, their feelings, the friendships, the emotions, similar to what The Pit is, like the medicine, as you said, is the soundtrack. It's the background for what actually is happening to these humans. And a lot of times healthcare workers are just thought as, oh, they're just there, they're robots, they're well compensated, forget about it, no big deal. But without healthcare workers, we're in a really bad place.
I've been saying that the strength of our healthcare system is commensurate with the strength of our healthcare workers, the degree to which we support them.
Yeah. Do you think Bill Gates' prediction that in 10 years AI will replace doctors is an accurate one?
I think as an augmentative tool, it's going to be a game changer. We're sort of playing around with it a little bit now because it's so much part of the conversation. There's a company called Bridge that does almost dictation software. You can walk in the room and put my cell phone down and do my whole exam while I'm talking to you and looking at you. And it's not just texting. It's putting it into the format of the chart that we use in the department of the hospital that we happen to be sitting in while I'm doing the exam, which allows us to have much more one-to-one contact. It takes all the typing out of your day of having to chart, and you just have to check it for inaccuracies. You have to just make sure that
you have to make sure the AI is not being AI.
Yeah, that there's no hallucinations, that you're not giving Zofran instead of Zoloft or whatever.
Right.
And that's the part that is still a little wonky. Is you can have a 99.9% accuracy rate, but that 1% or the 10th of a percentage point is still important. So many breakthroughs in diagnostic research, brain and heart, cancer detection. We keep talking to experts that say we're right on the precipice of incredible breakthroughs. That said, I do think you lose something from not having human-to-human contact. I think humans need to have human-to-human contact. I think there's something quantifiable about person-to-person care that you lose when you outsource it to anything technological. Well, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think analog manual is going to have a resurgence in the AI world. Are we going to have, they have GMO-free labels on food, AI-free productions and AI-free movies?
Well, I was sort of positing that during the writer's strike while we were all marching around trying to think about what the industry was going to look like. I started thinking, as they were predicting more and more AI-generated programming, there's going to be a resurgence in live theater, that people are going to start craving a temporal, live, human, emotional experience that only exists in this room at this moment and is totally analog, that these things tend to rise in correlation with each other, I hope.
Well, I also believe that you have a little bit of a bias there. You're quite a collector, as I've heard, of some unique artifacts.
Indeed.
What's some fun artifacts that you've collected over the years?
Collecting is such a kind word. Hoarding is the one that's thrown at me
Well, I try
most
not
often.
to make a medical diagnosis.
Self-diagnosed.
Yeah.
But I have a big enough house that you can't really tell how bad the problem is.
Okay, good.
But my wife, basically, every time I bring something new in, she goes, that would look great in your office, which my office is now starting to look a lot like Russell Crowe's shack in A Beautiful Mind. I collect everything, It's a form of therapy for me to identify something that interests me, and then just, I'm sort of a tactile guy, so I like to, if I get interested in 19th century walking canes, I need to have them all.
And memorabilia from shows?
I keep a lot of memorabilia from shows I've worked on. I grew up in LA as a big movie buff, big Hollywood buff, so I have a lot of film and television memorabilia. I've collected medical apparatuses. I've got a beautiful salesman case full of glass eyeballs from the 1800s. I've got an early wooden prosthetic hand that articulates all the different joints. I've got all sorts of weird shit.
In thinking about the pit and how accurate it is, I actually want to show you a photo. So you have a great relationship. I know you're Robbie, but I'm going to call you Dr. Mike. Okay. As Dr. Mike and your charge nurse. You're going to laugh. This is out of the ICU, out of Overlook Medical Center, where I did my residency training. That's my charge nurse.
It's Robbie and Dana.
Isn't that nuts?
Although it looks more like Carter and Dana.
Yeah. Yeah, the age, right?
Yeah, and the scrubs and the coat.
But it's funny how accurate, this is...
Didn't Catherine Lanossa just nail it?
Nail it. I mean, the personalities are exactly the same.
She is such a wonderful actress, and she did such incredible, detailed research. And she hung out with a woman named Kathy Griffin, who's been a charge nurse at SC County forever, and is a bit of a legend in her own right. And Catherine just got it down.
Yeah. You also, to make it more accurate, bring in subject matter experts per episode. What's the goal of doing that? And What experience have you had there?
It ranges. Sometimes you want to, honor the city that the show is depicted in, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has got a great medical history, Dr. Safer, and father of CPR. But it also is where the EMS service started. The Freedom House Ambulance Service is a great story to tell. And in researching Pittsburgh, you come across something like that, and it's just like, this is great. It's educational, it's relevant, it's dramatic, thematic, and so that's one way you do it. The other way is you want to have a bit of a crystal ball because these shows aren't going to air for a year.
Right.
So we kind of need the experts to tell us, look around the corner for us and tell us what you're most afraid of, what you most want to see on TV. Guide us from your expertise. So in a lot of ways, we could get a relevant storyline like our measles storyline towards the end of the season seem prophetic because we were talking to vaccination experts who were looking at trending rates and saying, you're going to see this, this, or this in the next year. And we got lucky by choosing measles or neurocystic sarcosis. Like we had no idea that was going to suddenly become a thing. But occasionally you can get lucky.
They also tell you about things that aren't being spoken about in media or perhaps in medical dramas. And I feel like that's a big component because you're talking about subjects that are taboo where people need to hear them. And what I like about The Pit is that it takes entertainment, but then it adds that value, that substance that has largely been missing from entertainment.
At one point, ER was like the primary source of healthcare for most Americans.
Huge. I labeled it as the #1 most accurate show before The Pit.
And we took that very seriously. So if we said it, it was pretty much verifiably accurate. The fact that we don't have an objective fact in medicine anymore, that we all feel very nervous about stating something as an empirical fact, makes me so uncomfortable. And I wanted to show where you could say, if they're saying it, your doctor's going to say, yes, that's accurate. And you can have confidence in that again. That's been missing from TV. It's been missing from the conversation with our doctors. The fact that level of distrust has been inserted in this very sacred relationship, I think is really extremely dangerous.
What do you think has led to the distrust?
Like anything, you'll find a kernel of truth, right, that then metastasizes into something really unhealthy. So
truth wrapped in a lie.
Yes. I just recently heard this thing that was unbelievable to me that, there's a movement talking about that empathy is a sin. Empathy is a sin. Why? Well, because if I am trying to warm you by lighting myself on fire, I'm not doing you any good. If I take on your problems to an unhealthy degree, we're not serving either one of us. I need to be objective, and I need to be right.
Hot take.
But what you're taking is something that has a kernel of truth into it, which is you can get compassion fatigue. You can get caretaker fatigue. You can get empathy fatigue from overextending yourself into someone else's role. You do need to have a certain sort of objectivity, and compassion is maybe a better word than empathy there. But to call empathy a sin is serving a whole other set of masters.
Well, what happens is with medical misinformation is they'll use the right terminology in the wrong application.
Yes.
Or they'll take a study out of context. Like as a prime example, and not to get political, because I think this is more clinical than political, RFK Jr., when he talks about the rotavirus vaccine, which has saved 100,000 plus lives globally, prevented tens of thousands of hospitalizations, even here in the US for children, a vaccine that I've been giving my entire medical career. He looks at the pamphlet in which the vaccine comes that compares those who got placebo versus the vaccine, and only looks at the negative impacts that someone that got the vaccine ended up having, but failed to compare it to the placebo group. Because if a person has a headache, it could be they just had a headache or they got a headache because of the vaccine. So you have to look at both groups.
Correct.
Where if you just look at one group and say, look how many people got a headache after the vaccine, well, people get headaches.
Yes.
So
you're cherry picking for adverse effects, but you know, that's not how mass vaccination works. There's going to be outlier cases, but that's not the point.
I feel like it's brave of the Pit to take on these issues during this politically turbulent time. No?
It probably is. But, you know, is it brave to just say what's accurate and what's true? Absolutely. Right now it is. I suppose it is.
Yeah. Do you have any fears of government pushback on things you're talking about, language you're using, stories you're covering?
So far, we have not been given any kind of censorship at all. And we've been encouraged to continue to do what we've been doing.
Wow.
I think while I may be guilty occasionally of writing a character with a bias, like when I wrote an episode where Dr. Langdon talks about mask efficacy, and makes a joke saying, do you want your surgeon to have mask or no mask? Because I don't want to step on your belief system. That's me as a writer making a sort of political joke, but I'm doing it through a character that would definitely have that opinion. And I'm showing counterbalance argument. Most of the time we show just presentational, this is what it looks like. And these are the equal weighted arguments that you're going to see in a hospital, and you can draw your own value judgment from it. It's a bit of a Rorschach test. And in that, we have a little bit of safety because we're just saying this is what we hear, this is what's being reported. This isn't polemical, this isn't dogmatic, this is accurate.
Fair. Were there any episodes or perhaps lines that impacted your understanding or relationship with life and death?
Certainly the Mr. Spencer storyline, the aging father who has 2 adult children. Episode 4 was the first one I wrote, and I was so lucky to land on that one because I really loved being able to talk about the Ho'oponopono, 4 things that matter most, sort of end-of-life ritual. And as we were researching that and as I was writing it, it took on personal relevance because I was thinking a lot about how my grandfather died and how my mother and my uncle attended his death. And those last few minutes that they witnessed, my mother shared with me, and I verbatim wrote them into the script.
Wow.
That he woke up at the very end and he looked around the room and he said my grandmother's name, who had died many years earlier. And then he got a kind of a smile on his face and he just went to sleep, and I just put that all in there. So that one was personally, invested for me, but I also loved the response that we got where we took something as ubiquitous as a death, which we see all the time on TV, all the time. And we slowed it down to real time, and it became impactful again. And that to me was really gratifying, that we could take a birth and a death, the 2 most common experiences that we go through, which seem to be the 2 most taboo subjects to talk about. And we showed them for all their accuracy, and the world went nuts. I find that amazing, ironic, and gratifying that we got away with it.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. What do we expect for season 2? You guys are in the process, right? Deep.
Season 2 is a lot about recognizing that audiences identified almost one-to-one with these characters. And so we need to be very faithful to that identification and now say, where would they be 10 months later, having been through what they've been through? In the first season, Robbie has an Adamson that is on his shoulder. But in season 2, everybody has an Adamson on their shoulder. How does everybody get through a mass casualty event 10 months on the other side of it and move on? Answering those questions for every character as thoughtfully as we can has been the thesis of season 2. It's almost as if the first season was about diagnosing the problem, and season 2 is about finding a method of treatment.
Will there be a continuation of the mental health focus that's been so prevalent on the show?
Yeah, particularly through my character. Robbie's recognition that he has an issue is undeniable after season 1. I think he goes home after that shift and can't lie to himself anymore that he's fine. So then he's got to be a bit of a leader in advocating for some mental health, but whether he takes it on himself will be an interesting journey. As we were discussing earlier, physicians don't make the best patients, and I really find that interesting. So I find that's going to be a big part of this is the doctor knows that he's sick, but will he get the help?
Based on that premise, I'm sure you've had outreach, but you are very vocal in supporting medical institutions. You're working with the Nurses Association. What do they tell you based on these characters? What feedback have you gotten directly?
Pretty uniformly that we're hitting the nail on the head, especially when it comes to things like burnout and when it comes to things like moral injury. You know, the idea that you could go to work every day with the best of intentions and have all of your skills and all of your intentions still not matter in making a difference, and having the tide be unending, and going home every day feeling like you barely move the needle at all for reasons that aren't your fault is, you know, I think so. That's what's out there. We had an evening the other night with UCLA resident second years where we kind of have some dinner and we have some drinks and we say, tell us your stories. You know, and usually those nights are fun. These R2s were a different, they're going through a different thing right now.
Yeah.
And the conversation started off being like, I hate urology, or I hate it when my attending won't sign off on my treatment course, or I hated this and I hated that. And then this one R2 goes, can I just say that I think that this is part of the problem? We're all pointing at each other as if our interdepartmental issues are the problem or individuals are the problem. We're trying to make sense of something that's a systemic failure, and we're pointing fingers at each other. Can we at least acknowledge that is not helpful? And it changed the whole tone of the conversation, right? Because then everybody realized that they spend so much of their day out of necessity trying to assign blame for the things that they're feeling, and blame is always misdirected. Right?
It's human, right? Yeah. To constantly do that. The system is absolutely broken. I mean, I try and function as best as I can within the system, but just yesterday I had a guest on the podcast, a breast reconstructive surgeon who is currently in the midst of a legal battle with one of the large healthcare insurers, because in the midst of her performing a surgery, she was called out of the surgery to answer a call about an insurance authorization for the stay for that surgery. And I just don't know if we're getting to that point. Where's bottom?
Yeah, I agree. Well, going back to the conversation about AI, like when you're going to get denied a procedure or denied coverage or denied care based on an algorithm without being, really looked at by a human being, I think that's It's
scary. When you look at the majority of denials, or don't remember the percentages offhand, a lot of them are based on administrative issues, coding issues, or what they call other. And they're not really because of improper medical necessity or fraud. It's just an issue with the system. And to me, if you're an insurer and you're doing that, you're turning the knob at where that happens, where the line of that is. And it's in your best interest because you're a financial company at the heart of it all. You're not a healthcare company. So your responsibility is to your shareholders, not to patients. And when you're turning that knob in the wrong direction, it really messes up the balance of healthcare, where it's perfectly exemplified by your administrator who's constantly putting pressure on you to improve patient wait times and quotas.
And then, I may be out of my depth here, but ironically, the other side of it is that you make more money off the admit and get them upstairs and do as many tests as possible. So you're denying patients on one side of the scale, and you're overcharging and over-testing on the other.
Well, that's one of the interesting things I talk about on the show that people miss. In the United States, we have two sides of the coin with bad healthcare. It's understandable to most that if you don't have good access because you're poor, you don't have money to pay for your meds, you will have bad healthcare outcomes. That makes sense to people. But what they miss is that there's also a VIP spectrum that is also getting bad healthcare by overdoing it.
Yep.
Over testing, over supplementing, over medicating, demanding when they have a virus at their doctor's office to get antibiotics. Michael Jackson is a prime example of that. So these issues all require a balance, and our healthcare system financially requires a balance. We don't want to destroy the industry where there's no more insurers to cover us. But at the same time, we need to make sure that patients are appropriately taken care of. And I feel like that balance is so sorely missing.
Oh, especially in the climate of these Medicaid cuts that we might be looking at.
Right.
But a lot of people don't know that Medicaid at the state level is what funds all ongoing care. Whether it's your child in an assisted living facility or your parent in an aged home, these things are often supplemented by Medicaid. And if you make those cuts, we're going to be seeing some unbelievably draconian outcomes.
Yeah. We're seeing the cuts to NIH with, in Dallas last week, 50 vaccine clinics closed, dozens more across the country. And if we have dropping vaccination rates, we have spiking infectious disease rates. And it's happening because of people driving vaccine hesitancy or full-on misinformation creating anti-vaxxers. I don't know, like besides doing it on large scale on social media and on a television show, what else can we do?
I don't know. We're doing our part.
I love that you're still connected to your characters very much. Most that play a role like John Carter get tired of that association. In fact, we invited Hugh Laurie to our show because a lot of folks like when we do House MD React.
Sure.
And his staff was like, oh, this is a good fit. We're going to reach out to him and see what he thinks. I'm going to read you quote unquote what he said. He is not interested in opportunities like this. Frankly, doesn't care about the audience or reliving the show.
That's so baller.
It's just such a direct and honest
So baller.
reply. Like, not that he won't do your show. It just, he doesn't want to be House MD ever again.
I'm a Gemini middle child pleaser. I'll answer any question you ask me.
But you do care about the audience. In fact, it's driven you to do this new show and continue season 2 and continue crushing it, representing for us.
I care about certain audiences.
Okay. And that healthcare audience falls into that mix?
This was scripted as a love letter to first responders and frontline workers to say, you know, we recognize what you guys have been going through. And then being embraced by that community and getting the gold seal of approval started the conversation to the rest of the audiences that this is a show to watch. So you guys were the ones we cared about the most in the beginning. And then it's, I've never been interested much in fame. So reach and impact are much more interesting to me than celebrity. So in order to have reach and impact, you have to have a dialogue and you have to be willing to sort of open up enough of yourself to feel like, you know, you're honest.
Yeah. But with fame, you can have impact.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. I mean, you had a tremendous impact on me, and I know most tell you that they've gone into medicine perhaps because of John Carter or now The Pit. But for me, you actually encouraged my venture into healthcare, but it wasn't from either of those two characters. It was from the lovely character you played on Friends.
What? Stop it.
You would think I'm blowing smoke right now, but this is on camera, documented 5 years ago. I said this.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you're like, I want to be a doctor so I can go out with Rachel?
You think that's sick?
That's
why.
Because Rachel thought I was cute. You're like, I need to do that.
As selfish and superficial as that was, when you're 10 years old, that has an impact.
I became an
And you're a
actor.
nerd.
I got into acting because I wanted to be part of the massage trades. They all look so fun.
ER started 94.
Yes.
I wasn't even in America then. So when I came in and I started watching shows, Friends, ER, that was the backbone of what I understood America to be.
Wow.
So you shaping my worldview was obviously very impactful, but then also connecting with you on Instagram about the show, finding out that you were aware of our work here on YouTube.
Let me just say that when Dr.Mike hit me up on Instagram and was in my DMs, I went to the set the next day and showed Isa Briones that Dr.Mike had Instagrammed me. And Instagrammed me, shows you what generation I'm from. And I was the coolest kid on set that day because you're a rock star. Oh my goodness. We would watch your show in the little room that we have for the cast. We'd all have one phone. We'd watch you. And I got to be super cool by meeting you now twice.
Yeah. Well, this is obviously a pleasure, and I thank you for your time. Because for me, it's obviously a ton of pressure, making sure I'm doing the right by the show. And what's unique about the work that we do on the channel is when I watch the show, that is genuinely my first time watching the episode. So perhaps I'm not aware of certain things. Perhaps I make mistakes while I do it. But I think it
Oh, you ring the bell of diagnosis more often than not. Come on, my man.
But sometimes you get it wrong, and it's okay. And I misspeak, or I have to Google things. And I want that level of transparency for people to see what it's like to talk to a doctor. It's why a few months ago I did a debate against 20 anti-vaxxers, and I sat surrounded by them for 3 hours for a show on YouTube that's not mine. So I didn't own the footage. I put myself at their mercy. I said, ask me anything, challenge me on anything. Let's have a conversation. So you could see what a doctor does. because it's usually done behind closed doors. And when it's done in media, it's done through jabs and digs and frustration and emotion. Watch how we do it with patients, even though they're not my patients. And I think it resonated with people where it's like, whoa, I'm watching someone who's empathetic, who's trying their best, saying what they know, what they don't know. And then I'm watching someone yelling at them with anger because they've experienced something.
Were those 20 anti-vaxxers coming at their opinion from a uniform source, or were
they were just cast as people who wanted to question a doctor about vaccines?
You don't know how they came at their ideology?
Well, some of them talked about personal situations. One was a pediatric hematology oncology nurse and was very frustrated at how the COVID-19 pandemic was handled by our government, how certain things were miscommunicated and led to her distrust to some degree. There was one who was a police lieutenant here in New Jersey whose child, because of a divorce, a court mandated that they get a vaccine because the mother wanted it, he didn't want it, and how that led him to distrust the system because of the data that they used. Some full-on conspiracy theorists believing that I've been brainwashed by the John Rockefeller system of healthcare.
I'm much more interested in where the root of people's ideas come from.
Same.
That's the only place you can unravel the knot, right? It's like, where did you hear that? What makes you feel that way? And what are you afraid of?
So I approached every conversation that I had in those 3 hours in that same way. But then I was surprised. There were a couple of people where it really didn't matter what I was saying. And I had to ask outright, is there anything I could say that will open up your mind or change your mind? They said no, because I actually read and study. And at that point...
Well, not to speak disparagingly about anybody, but I think it's really hard for people to walk back a strongly held opinion, especially if it has consequences that you would have to own. Like maybe people died as a result of you advocating for a certain point of view. To have to own that may have been a mistake is maybe the hardest thing you could possibly do. So I have compassion for how dug in people are. I just hope we can all talk again soon.
Yeah, that's the hope, because I think that I'm optimistic. Maybe not healthy optimistic, because it's a little wild. But in the same way to how we started the conversation, I think this is a great bow tie. We started with talking about how a good educator will get someone excited no matter their limitations or frustrations. I think a good doctor can help someone overcome their misconceptions, incorrect beliefs, maybe not in one visit, maybe not in one conversation, but if given enough time, I think that it is doable. So,
amen.
So, well, thank you for your time, Noah. I very appreciate you coming over. It's so awesome.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you. I actually reacted to the pilot episode of ER. That's 1994, a year before I was in America. Click here to check that out. And as always, stay happy and healthy.
That when that stuff happened and it all came crashing down, dude, I ran away. Like there was a moment where like I remember walking around the streets and I texted my manager. I was like, dude, like I don't know, like I'm not doing okay.
Harry exploded onto the scene of mainstream media in the spring of 2020 when millions of viewers sheltering in place turned to Netflix and became hooked on Too Hot to Handle, a reality show where contestants must remain celibate for as long as possible in their hopes of winning their share of $100 grand. As you can imagine, Harry is a ball of energy and charisma, bringing his huge personality and huge frame, 6'5". Whoa. Into every room he goes. Today, he brings his personality, height, and some medical curiosity to the Checkup, where we discussed his testosterone use for bigger muscles. Also, content warning, this episode does contain discussion of suicide, which has unfortunately touched Harry's life multiple times throughout it. This is a wide-ranging and fascinating conversation covering some serious and lighthearted topics. And with that being said, I began our conversation with a question about dating shows I've always wanted to ask. How real are your relationships on reality TV? Because this is something I've been so curious about.
Yeah. Okay. So you have to like take everything that you know about dating, right? And then put yourself in an environment where there's like no outside like influence whatsoever.
But isn't the camera being in the room already an outside influence?
But within like 3 days, you forget about it.
No way.
Like this is why it fucks up people a lot with like reality shows, is because like mentally you don't have your friends, family, everyone's a stranger. It's a competition. People have to get you and you're told you have to find love. So like your brain, your psyche is just like, okay, like this is my mission. And then it becomes your entire world. Wow. So a lot of people get like really
brainwashed, almost
fully brainwashed. Like it's really crazy. Yeah, fully. So then when you're on these shows and like you fall in love, like the love is like so hard. You're like, wow, I can imagine everything with this person. Then you get back home
and you're like, real world.
And you're like, oh, you're actually a hooker.
No, come on.
No, but not like,
it's not that bad.
Well, you know,
sometimes.
Yeah, it happens. But like, oh, you're like, oh shit. Okay. Like, damn, I have to work. Like other guys are trying to hook up. Like it's not as pure love as you thought it was. So that's why
it's situational, because here, what you're feeling is not practical. And I'm going to make a corny analogy here. You know, all of these people that go on podcasts and are like, you need to spend 2 minutes in a cold water immersion, or you need to walk this many steps or run this protocol. That's dating on a dating show.
Right.
And then the advice I give, like in my patient world, is like what happens in real life.
Yeah.
Versus the dating show.
Yeah.
Because it's different, right? It's fictional. So different.
Yeah.
And it's not fictional and like you're being fake. It just the circumstances make it fictional.
Yeah.
So do you find it hard to date in real life now that you've had this fictional scenario?
See, I've done like 3 of them.
Yeah.
So like I kind of just like, I don't know, I'm a lover. So I'll give it what it's worth. And then when I come back to real life, I'm just like, okay, like waiting for your true colors. Like, oh, I get to meet your friends. Okay. So this is the type of people you hang out with.
So are you skeptical going in now?
A little bit. Like, yes, you kind of have to be like have your guards up a little bit, but it's also like, life's way too short. Like, who cares? Like, let's just like have fun. But then when it comes out, like, that's why not like people don't really last, because the show comes out, there's all this like attention, and they don't like, we didn't have the building blocks of like starting a relationship. Like that was one of the things with a previous partner. I was like, I told him like, hey, like we haven't had the building blocks of like friendship and like building up from there and having that trust. We just went straight in like, let's get married, have kids, and like whatever happens, we're gonna figure it out. And then all these like fundamental steps of building a healthy relationship are just fully gone, and then it just like crumbles. So I think that kind of happens on these shows.
That makes sense. I mean, anything that ignites that fast has the ability to also
of course, especially if I'm in it as well.
Why? Are you the problem?
Of course.
Taylor Swift, you're the problem?
I am, yeah. If me and Taylor dated, that'd be like 50 albums.
Why are you the problem?
Nah, I just think I'm just too playful. Like,
but playful could be good.
Sometimes, but sometimes people want to be a little bit serious. And I'm like, come on.
Oh, so you want to keep things casual?
Well, yes and no. Like, you know, in the previous, like my last relationship, I was like, this is the one, I'm going to get married, whatever else. And then like, I don't know, just get a little bit bored or whatever, or she did. And then whatever.
That happens. I feel like dating on its own these days is hard with social media being a thing. And then you throw reality TV into it. Yeah. And then if you get an offer, like I can't imagine, you know, in my world in media, it's like, what if you get a TV show that's medically thing that you have to travel the world, or in Florida or in California? You're like, that would be tough on a relationship.
For sure.
But for you might get a show to go date.
Yeah.
And then what do? Do you just say,
well, like that's the problem is like whenever I'm in a relationship, there's like no show opportunities, right? Yeah, and then as soon as it's like single, they're like, boom, they come flooding in. I'm like, what am I doing in a relationship? Like I have all these like work opportunities that are really cool. Like when I broke up with my ex, that week I had 3 show opportunities.
No way.
Like it was like the universe is like, here you go. But they were like competition shows, like fun shows, like not dating stuff. Because I said like I'm gonna steer away from it unless The Bachelor was like, hey, like we want you to be The Bachelor.
Would you do The Bachelor?
For sure.
Really?
For sure.
I've heard some horror stories from guys that have done it before.
Yeah, I've heard bad things. Like I've heard, you know, just about how stressful it is and whatever else. And sometimes it's a little bit like forced and what. But I'm like, I've done a bunch of shows. Like I understand how it works, and like they're there to get a job done. And especially with that one, like people legitimately want to get married. And I think like now my whole outlook is like I'm dating and married. Like if I'm gonna date you, like I'm doing it because I want everything with you.
Do you believe in a monogamous single partner relationship?
Yes, but I also believe that maybe there's some like situations like 20 years down the line where you're like things are stagnant. Like I've been in a relationship where she was already f***ing my friends, so And so I was
Like
like,
without
hey,
you knowing?
well, like he told me. So I was
Your
so
friend
I
or
knew.
your girlfriend?
My guy friend.
Okay.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I just hooked up with your girl. I was like, all right, sweet.
Are you laughing through the pain right now?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but this is so long ago.
Okay.
But like for me in that situation, I remember my mentality was, I really love this girl. I think she's awesome. But we're in different countries right now. And obviously she needs that aspect kind of tickled. You know, she needs a physical touch. I also need that. So it's either like we both cheat, but still love each other, or we just open it up. And I tried to tell her, I was like, hey, look, like obviously I know what you're up to. I want to be a naughty boy as well. Can we both do it? And it's okay. And then she's like, no, I couldn't imagine you sleeping with other people. I'm like, well, you're fucking my boys. Like, what do you want me to do? So we broke up.
I think that's the communication aspect of it is probably
Yeah.
the most important.
Yeah. What about you? What would you believe?
So for me, when I was growing up, I always believed the monogamy is the one way.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I watched Friends too often. Did you watch that show?
I haven't watched it religiously.
Okay. I watched it religiously.
Okay.
So the nerdy guy on the show, Ross, I imagine him, I was him, and I would lose Rachel to somebody.
Oh no.
And I believed in that.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I don't believe in it anymore.
Yeah.
But I think times have gotten different in terms of what people want, how
Yeah.
dating apps have changed it. So now I'm confused.
Yeah.
I don't know what the right answer is.
No, I'm the same. And I think that like, look, if it's the one and it's everything and it makes sense, it makes sense. But
what is the one?
okay, so this is a
You have a formula?
Oh no, I didn't like. I've spoke to two of my friends that are like heavily in love, and like this is the girl of my dreams. Like, because I just got out of a relationship, so I was like, hey, like, what was I missing something? Like, I know the feeling of love, and how they were explaining it was just. Actually, I forget how they explain it, but it was good. It's to the point where
They sold you well.
I was like, damn, I'm gonna cry. Like, this is so beautiful. Like, this is crazy. I'm like, would you imagine her with anyone else? Like, no, I would fucking murder someone who hooked up with my girl. So I was like, okay, like that's pretty aggressive, but I get it. But I don't know. I just think that, yeah, fuck. I wish I could explain. I wish I could remember it, but there's so many things.
No, I don't know. I feel like when I watch people who are in love,
Yeah.
a lot of times it might be lust.
Yeah.
Where it might be like really early on, and I'm like, I'm curious how long this will go. I hope that it goes on forever.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times it doesn't.
Yeah.
Or you hear cheating or open relationship starting, and I'm like, well, that's different than how it initially started. So maybe it grew
Yeah.
and this is acceptable for both parties. And really it's about what both people want.
For me, like maybe monogamy is old fashioned or whatever, but I feel like with the right person, it would just be that conversation, just keeping that open mind.
Yeah. It sounds beautiful. But practically speaking, I don't know what to do to find it.
Yeah.
And I actually had this conversation with, who was I talking to? Daryl Sabara, Megan Trainor's husband.
Wow.
And how they met, he goes, I right away knew she was the one. And I was like, man, if I walked into a room and I saw someone who I thought was the one, I couldn't even begin to be myself, because all I would be doing is worried that I'm not giving my best self.
Yeah.
But that's also not the real me.
Yeah.
If you're going above and beyond.
Yeah.
So it's like, how can you maintain being yourself and being honest, but still show up the best version?
It's hard because even when my dad was talking about when he met my mom, he's like, yeah, I turned to my friends. I said, I'm going to marry that woman. I'm like, how are you so confident, dude?
Yeah.
Like how do you?
It's the Good Will Hunting line. Did you see Good Will Hunting?
It was so long ago.
Oh,
bro.
where Robin Williams says, I
Dory.
had to see about a girl, and he slid the tickets back to his friends
Oh, yes.
because he ran into his wife at a bar. And I'm like,
It's going to happen. Well, I thought you would be married and like,
why? Because I have a medical career?
yeah.
No, that's not how it works.
It
I
doesn't-
wish.
I
Yeah.
thought that's what happens when you become a doctor. You get married and like have the woman
I
of
mean,
your dreams.
some people do.
Okay. Well,
I'm trying.
okay.
But it's like, it's
not fun?
hard. It's hard. You got to look, and it's for life. Like, I don't want to do it willy-nilly, casually, and just say, oh, I'm getting married to get married. I want to
Yeah.
make sure it's the right person.
See, I'm the opposite. I just get married to get married.
You're like, I know there's an out.
Yeah, I like the lady I saw walking up here. I'll marry her.
No.
No,
Okay.
it's actually him.
Sam, you almost got married.
Yeah, almost.
But it's tough. I mean,
Well,
and again, the dating life online, how's that changed, by the way? I mean, obviously your DMs are obviously lit.
Yes, like so when the show came out, when Taught to Handle came out, like it was COVID, shit was getting crazy, and I didn't really know how to deal with it all. So I was just
Enjoying the fruits of your labor.
enjoying as much as I could. And then now, like after having love and being in a relationship for like a year, I was like, oh man, like that feeling and having that person is like, I don't know. I was like, love is the meaning of life, you know? Like having that person and waking up every day, like, what can I do to make your day better? Like, okay, I'll get you coffee. There's flowers there. Like, how can I help, like, to make her day like the best? For me, I'm like, oh, that's the best feeling. Like giving your energy to someone. And then once I got single again, and I started seeing like a few like repeat offenders from before, and I was just like, oh God, like this sucks. Like this is draining.
It's lonely a little bit.
It's so lonely. Like I'm like, oh, I'm looking for this feeling and I want to have this feeling again, but I'm just like, dude, like I don't care enough. So now I tell people like, oh no, I'm only dating to marry, because that scares off people. Like that just scares off girls that are just like,
I thought it would be the other way.
Well, in LA,
because guys used to weaponize that.
Yeah. See, for me, like in LA, I think that like, everyone just wants to hook up and have fun and whatever else. But when you tell someone like, no, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I'm so serious about who I give my energy to and who I like bring into my world, because I want to make sure that they're like the right person. It's kind of just like, okay, dude, like you're nuts. Like you're crazy.
No, but that's smart.
Yeah.
Because actually what scientific research has shown us, and I just had a doctor who is doing the longest running study of happiness.
Wait, I thought he was running. I'm like, dude.
No. He's literally having, it's like a 100-year study on happiness. He's studied already multiple generations of the same people. Like the same family continued. Yeah, it's an amazing
Who's paying
study.
for that? Like
Harvard.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So that's why. Unlimited budget.
Yeah, I was like, who would fund this?
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they found that it's not so much about like, yes, happy marriages yield better mental health outcomes.
For sure.
People who have chronic pain don't feel as much pain, even when they're having pain, when they have a good marriage.
Wow.
But it's not even so much about a good marriage. It's about having a person to call on in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what we're starting to learn as a society. And people are opening up their thoughts of who they want to be with a partner, whether or not they want a wife or a husband, whether they can just have a friend who can be there for them. And really it's about having that support system, because it's lonely otherwise.
So lonely. And also someone that you can like, I don't know, like a best friend. Like
to grow with, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like build something fun. Like that's why I was so excited my last relationship. I had like an album where we were going to get married and we had a house, had rings, had like a car I wanted to get us, and like all this stuff. I'm like looking at beehives that I want to buy when I get a house.
Beehives?
Yeah.
You like bees?
Well, yeah, not really, but like I like the Bee movie, but
there's a Bee movie?
Yeah. Okay. It's like a Disney movie.
Oh, okay.
No, but like I had a beehive growing up.
Okay.
We had two with my dad. I remember we used to beekeep, and it
made Manuka honey, right? Because you're from New Zealand.
Yeah, so good. So good. So we used to do that like growing up, like, and then I was like, oh, if I have a kid, that would be sick. And there's this new beehive that is literally like a tap. You turn it on, the honey comes straight out. So with the hives, you have to like pull out these little slots and put them in a machine and like spin them around, and the honey sticks to the wall as barrel, and then it leaks down and goes in this thing.
Wow. Okay.
So it's a process. But with this new like beehive,
it just processes.
You just turn on the tap, comes out, and you don't have to disturb the bees. I'm like, this is sick. I want to have a kid and
do that with the kid.
Yeah, that's it. And then get rid of the kid.
Well, no.
Yeah, go away.
No, you
come back
have
and
to enjoy the kid.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that growth aspect is probably what's special. Like when you would have successes, whether it's on television, on social media, you get nominated for something or you get a big financial reward.
Yeah.
Isn't it not as fun when you don't have a partner?
Dude,
that's how I felt. I don't know.
No, like, so I got a Urus.
Yeah.
And when I got it, like I was, in a bit of, me and my girl were in a bit of a breakup at that time. So I was so excited to get it and to like have her there and my friends there to like be like, this is a cool moment, like a milestone. But like, because everything, like we weren't working out at that point. It was kind of just like, damn, like now I'm just sitting in this really cool car by myself when I wanted to like get it for us and like show us off. And I think that's also like the best thing about being in a relationship as well, is like having just share wins together and feel like, we're accomplishing something together, which is, so special.
Very true. I actually heard a great quote on comedians in cars getting coffee with Jerry Seinfeld and I think Chris Rock. They were like in a really cheap car together and they're like, we could have fun in anything.
Yeah.
Like if it's true, the connection,
True.
you could be laughing about how shitty the car is or how awesome the car is, and it's equally as a good time.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you have friends like that you can
have
a blast with, right?
Yeah, and my friends are sausages. Like they're just they're crazy. But it was like more like the milestone, because I was waiting for it for 14 months.
course.
And like, I want to share this moment.
Great car, by the way.
So much fun.
I had the car, just got rid of it.
Really?
Yeah. I got a
Why?
Bronco Raptor.
Sick.
Well, that's like more fun off-roady type.
Well, that's the thing. So I went and filmed a show. I was filming Amazing Race recently, and once I got back, I was like, I just want a truck. Like I just want to be in a truck. So kind of think I've like done that. Like I came back, I cleared out all my designer clothes, reevaluated my life. I'm like, I don't need these like shirts and these like Dior shoes. Like for what? Like who am I trying to impress?
Oh no, I have Dior shoes on.
You do?
Right now?
Oh shit. No, but like I'm
gonna take them off.
No, I had like 110 pieces. Like
Wow.
this dude that came and like cleaned out all my stuff. All I wear is Gymshark pants, and they don't sponsor me, and like a white tee.
Okay.
Well, it's obviously black, but like a plain tee. I meant.
Sure.
So I was just like, okay, I need to like reevaluate everything and take a step back. I don't know where I got with that, but I
Well,
wanna
no,
get a
that
car.
you needed to clear out the
energy.
excess.
I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
So on the way over, I was thinking about like, obviously people will probably ask you all the time, like, how do I live longer or whatever else? What's some day-to-day hacks that you do to improve your quality of life?
I'm the world's most boring doctor because
okay.
I don't give hacks.
Oh, you don't give hacks?
Because hacks are bullshit.
Oh, okay. Damn.
I know. Isn't that sucky?
Damn. I thought you'd be like,
And I'm the guy that says like, don't take supplements for no reason.
oh, that's what I do.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm pushing people away from these things. I know.
Come on. I thought you would have been like, yeah, Harry, go lay out in the sun and tan your balls and you'll feel
That's
great.
what I'm
for the
saying. Imagine I could make money if I did that.
Lie. Start lying.
No, but I'm showing that you could be financially successful and
Yeah.
not lie.
Oh, shit.
Because every doctor that's been successful in media when I was growing up lied
Right.
about something. Or they
Yeah.
would make up some like BS, like, oh, how your zodiac sign impacts your heart health.
How does it?
It doesn't.
Damn.
No, there's just like so much we don't know.
Yeah.
When we start acting like we have complete control over everything because we can control one number or how much time we
Right.
spend in a cold plunge or tanning our balls or whatever it is, it's not realistic.
I actually do both at the same time.
That's impressive. You must be really flexible.
Yeah, well, my balls shrink in the cold plunge, but I lay upside down.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you
so I
get
try
them
and warm them up.
Not medically necessary, but to
Yeah.
each their own.
It might work.
Well, no, I don't discourage people from doing these
Yeah.
things.
Okay.
If they want to do them for entertainment purposes, go nuts.
Wait, so you don't like cold
Literally.
plunges?
I don't think it's necessary for good health
Okay. Why?
because there's no evidence showing it's necessary for good health.
Okay.
So in the medical media world, there's all these people that are promising you hyper optimization.
Right.
Oh, if you just do this, you can make your body so much stronger and faster and all this. And most of it is based on junk science that's not very well proven.
Okay.
Or it's reserved for people who are pro athletes that need to go from 99% to 99.9.
Okay. Like me.
Well, you're the pro athlete.
Yeah.
By the way, when are you boxing somebody?
Oh, bro. I've had offers, but I don't know.
Who do you want to box?
God.
Dream opponent.
I would really like want to do like a rapper or like someone like
A who?
like a rapper or
Oh, a
like
rapper,
someone
okay.
like, you know, okay, this is the scariest thing. This is going to sound crazy. When I went back to Australia,
Yeah.
like last year, I went on and did an interview where they're like, they asked me that question, like, who would you want to box? Because I don't know, I've been thinking about it for a little bit. I'm like, to be honest, I would want to fight like an Australian celebrity, but do it for charity back home.
Okay.
Because mental health is such a big problem back in Australia. I think we have the highest suicide rate per capita. Australia and New Zealand is like,
Really?
it's so high.
Wow.
So I wanted to go back and be like, yeah, I want to do this for like a charity for a good cause and fight like, and I said Chris Hemsworth because obviously he's the biggest dude out of Australia ever, and he's juiced to the gills. He's huge. I was like, yeah, I would love to box him and then do something really cool and be like, yeah, we broke the most money ever raised for charity.
Sure.
So I said that, and then that night I'm at this bar, and I look over, and he's there with like 4 friends.
No.
I don't think he knew. He probably didn't know, but like I started shaking. I was like, oh,
You guys are the same size.
Dude.
I just sat next to him at a luncheon the other day. You guys are almost
really?
the same size. Yeah.
you should have told him Harry's gonna smash you. No, I wouldn't.
Would you still do it now? if
Yeah,
he
of
offered?
course.
Okay.
And but for charity.
For charity.
I know. I like what you did as well. Like
Yeah, I
you
did
donated
for
your
charity,
purse
yeah.
and stuff. But are you gonna box again?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah. They actually offered me to fight on the undercard of this Nate Diaz fight. To
Really?
do a rematch with the same guy.
Yeah.
But they told me with like 6 weeks to go and it wasn't enough time to get ready.
Yeah.
So
What
the
would you
next
do
one.
different?
I have a new coach.
Okay.
I have a new strategy.
Okay.
And yeah.
But medically though, what
What would
about
I
your
do
brain?
differently?
Like, are you worried?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not worried, you're doing something wrong.
That's me.
So
I'm
you-
never worried.
You have to be worried. I would be worried about you in a boxing ring for you. Because you're
I'll
not
knock
worried.
myself out.
I've seen that happen actually. Some
Yeah.
people throw an uppercut.
Yeah, that's me.
But you got to be careful.
Yeah.
Have you trained I saw you put up some like videos of you.
Yeah, so I've been like on and off for like the last like maybe 3 or 4 years, but not enough to be like, oh yeah.
Have you sparred?
Yes. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
3-minute rounds?
No, gas out. Just 2 minutes. I'm like quick. I'm like, guys, please.
Okay.
But
How did
like,
you feel doing it?
Like, I feel like so the gym that I train at is Fortune's gym in Melrose, and there's a lot of like pros there, and because like they wanted to get me ready for like a fight, they were putting me up with some pros, so it was a little bit scary.
Sure.
Like I'm not like I wasn't leaving there like confident, like oh shit, like I'm gonna be the next Mike Tyson, like whatever else. But it's like it's good. I feel like as a man, like you kind of need to be punched a little bit sometimes, and like it helps you like. I don't know, snap to reality a little bit because maybe your anxiety is like letting you think in the future or the past, and like
It really forces you to be in the present.
be present. Yeah, and it makes you sharp. So I enjoy it, but I don't train. There's not like a crazy like boxing routine. I'm like, yeah, in the morning I'm here every single day, and then I go for a 10-mile run, and then I go like shadow box with some pigeons or something. Like I don't.
With pigeons? Oh, because Mike Tyson does that.
Does he?
Yeah, he has pigeons.
That was a great guess.
Yeah.
But who knows, bro? Like I don't
So
know.
it might happen. But you need the reason you and I actually started talking. I messaged you first about boxing
You did.
because I was like, oh, maybe you're like a tall guy, and I was like, wow, you're way too tall and way too big to be in my weight class.
But you're too nice.
What do you mean?
I talk shit. I would be a piece of shit.
That's good.
No, but
The last guy talked shit too against me. He like shoved me at the weigh-in. And, well, he's Nate Diaz's boy.
I did see that. I
Yeah.
did see that.
So like there was some
How do you not let that get in your head though? Or did it
people
fuck with you a little bit?
die in front of me. So like he thinks I'm scared of a shove.
Shit. Okay.
It's like there's life and death all the time in front of me.
Right.
So like, what's a little boxing match?
Yeah. What's the little box? Yeah. True. See, I'm a pussy. I would be like, dude, like, like I just want to make you laugh.
No, I will say
Yeah.
the difference because I fought an influencer on my first event, and then
Yeah.
I fought a pro who's had like 20
You did pretty
fights.
well in the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, influencer boxing is different than fighting someone who has 25 fights.
Yeah. Why did you do that?
Well, because I really wanted to see if I was full of shit or not.
Okay.
Because like,
Well, you held up.
yeah,
You
well, I
did
mean,
well.
I didn't get knocked out. I lost on the judges' scorecards, but it was cool to see what the real thing is about.
Okay.
Where the other guy is not trying to take it easy on you. This isn't for show. This is his job. This is how he eats.
Yeah.
So you're in the way of his next meal.
Right.
So he's trying to show you up. And the fact that I was being able to.
Should have just bought him dinner. Like, brother, we don't need to do
Here,
all this.
I'll pay you off right here. Take it easy on me.
Yeah, please
No,
take it easy.
he went in.
Would you fight an influencer again, or you want to go down there?
Oh, no, I would do it. It just.
I thought you
what's
said
the
you wanted to go
challenge?
pro, yeah? Or you?
Well, that was a pro fight.
that was
Yeah, that
on
was
your
Showtime
record.
pay-per-view. Yeah.
Wow.
That was like legit pro.
So you want to go down that route again?
Yeah. I can't go all being 0-1 as a pro fighter.
I would.
I want to be one.
I would be like, yeah, hold on,
You're like,
let's
you got beat up. You
Yeah, I'd be like, whatever. Fuck it.
And a lot of what boxing is mental health. And you mentioned mental health when you're talking about Australia. Why is that important to you?
So the reason why I got in this industry and in entertainment and all that stuff, when I was at university, we lost my brother's best friend to suicide.
Wow.
This guy Hamish, he was, again, as like everyone is who is dealing with something, it's just like the happiest guy you never would have picked. It was him.
Mm-hmm.
So that pivoted me. I was at university and I was like, man, I'm not happy. Like I don't get it. And my friends aren't happy. What do I do? So it was literally like that day that my friend Helen tagged me on a thing on Facebook to like apply for like a dating show. So I did it. I applied. I was just like, yeah, maybe this is a chance to just make people laugh. Like I want to make my friends laugh. So I went on this dating show. I ended up, first time I ever manifested something. I don't know if you believe in that juju stuff, but I manifested that. I won it. And then I came back and it was kind of funny. Yesterday, I had a memory of my speech on there talking about like mental health and like, because on the show I had an argument with the girl that I was dating then, and I left the room and I came back right away and I was just like, okay, it actually doesn't matter. She's like, what? Why? Like, what changed? And I said to her, I was like, look, dude, like this argument isn't going to matter in 6 months. So like, I'm happy to just say like, let's just move on. I'm sorry. And I just want to go back to being happy. And I still have the photo saved. I was crying because the amount of responses that I got, like, hey, I actually really needed to hear this today. Like, thank you so much. And that was what filled my cup. And I remember sitting at home after that first show came out, because it was only small. It was only in New Zealand. Sitting at home, I'm like, damn, I just want to do this again. Like I want to, so I went on the show and I was being an idiot. I was being crazy, but I had those serious moments where I got to let people see like the real side of me. And then after that, I just started applying for every single show. And I ended up on Taught to Handle. And obviously that was on a bigger scale and got to make more people laugh. And now I get to do it every day as my job with like being an influencer. But then from that, we've lost 2 more people to suicide. So Meredith is my best friend's mom. She was like one of the people that has raised me. Like she was best friends with my mom. I remember I used to play rugby with me and Rhodey, and she would pick us up. It's like she was the best person ever on the planet. So we lost her. And then a couple months after that, we lost Tavita, who was my best friend from the first show. And that's what really like pivoted me. I'm like, dude, like I was partying, I was going out and whatever else. And I was like I just want to, I'm getting lost on my track to make people happy and make my friends laugh. Like, again, I say it all the time, like you can always check in on people, but you can't, like, it's hard to check in on everyone every day. But for me, like my goal is like, I want to just give people that chance to laugh. And whether it's like 10-minute or a 30-second TikTok or whatever, where people just say, okay, like, I like get distracted from their life. That's, for me, has been the whole goal, is just to entertain. So when I just did this recent show, Amazing Race, it was all for charity. So it was really exciting, and I got to represent those guys and try and do something good. But yeah, for me, it's just, I don't even know what the question was. I was just rambling.
No,
Sorry.
It's why is mental health important to you? Is how we started. And it's very clear that it's impacted you. Yeah. Because people around you have really succumbed to mental health issues.
Yeah. And it's like the worst thing was, it's everyone has a story with it. And everyone has like either lost someone or has gone through something themselves. And that's the scary thing is, you know, even most recently, there was a few dark days where I was like, damn, like what the is going on? Like, what am I doing? Like, just really in my head. But I've been like at therapy and everything's been like amazing, but it's helped me understand kind of the highs and lows of everything and be able to better represent to my audience. Like, okay, like if you're feeling this type of way, this is something that helps me get through it. And it isn't being in an ice bath with your balls out, but sunlight.
Well, that's the real life, right?
Yeah.
Because it's easy to sell a shortcut.
Yeah.
But it's harder to sell going to therapy.
Yeah.
But what works?
Yeah.
Being with your balls out or putting the work in and going to therapy? Yeah. So that's what I run into all the time being a doctor. Like, do I want to say the real thing, or do I want to say the sexy thing that will make some money?
I'll say the sexy thing that makes some money.
No, you're going to tell the real thing.
It.
No. Because I think what you said about refilling your cup is really important.
Yeah.
Being in service to others is something that traditionally brings people a lot of happiness.
Yeah.
And it's a level of extrinsic happiness that is, or rather intrinsic happiness.
Yeah.
Because extrinsic is like the cars, the money, the things that don't really last. Yeah. You constantly want something better. But the fulfilling thing of helping another person or helping them get through a dark time or helping them laugh, that's the stuff that lasts.
Is that what got you into being a doctor, or you just be like, I'm so smart, I should
No.
I should do this?
Not at all.
Okay.
I like helping people, obviously, and that's kind of the cheesy answer that everyone gives in medical school interviews.
Okay.
But for me, I really enjoyed learning about the body, teaching about the body. I watched my dad go through medical school, so like I saw the whole process where most people are really young when their parents are going through med school. Right. So I really fell in love with the field. I thought this was a really good fit for me, for my skill set, for what I was curious about. It matched really well. Wow. And I think medicine is a special place where you can truly help others. But now with the advent of social media, you could also have fun, make it entertaining, talk about some balls.
How the fuck do you balance all this shit? Like what?
I mean, it's like, whatever, you figure it out.
It's not whatever, bro. Like,
I mean, you have to have a schedule. I have a team that helps me.
Yeah, but I see your stories, you're like posting, you're actually like in, you know.
I work
like you're actually a doctor.
3 days a week,
which is crazy because I'm like, dude, like you can.
It's a lot of stuff, but remember what you said about refilling your cup?
Yeah.
Because I'm constantly doing things that are unique and getting me inspired and excited,
Right.
I'm refilling my cup each day, even though by the end of the day it's an empty cup.
Yeah.
But then the next day it refills real nice.
So like what gets you like inspired or like fired up? Is it being in there and helping people?
Yeah.
Because obviously like you said, you watch people die. So that's got to really take a toll.
It takes a toll, but then being there for the people around them refills the cup.
Okay.
Because when one person goes, there's someone else around that's impacted. Right. Even if it's not the family, it could be the nurse in the room that was there when you were doing chest compressions. And having the conversation, learning from something about it, makes it a worthwhile endeavor. Like it really is like an eye-opening experience. And that's why I really don't want to corrupt the medical field with the tanning your balls thing, because man, dude, life is precious.
Big thing.
No, because dude, what's on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
It's the cold plunges. It's like, this is the hack that, and don't get me wrong, I've made hack videos before that.
Yeah.
There's little things, intermittent fasting and stuff that I like doing. But
For sure.
life is like hard and there's challenges. I'm curious why you think in Australia there is such a mental health crisis. Is it that they don't talk about it enough?
Yeah. So for us, and it's kind of the first thing that I noticed coming to America is like you tell someone about your dream or like what you want to do, especially in LA, someone's like, oh yeah, I know someone who can help. But in Australia, there's this like mentality of, oh yeah, just have a spoonful of cement and harden up. And a lot of like guys just like don't talk about it.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's more so in Australia.
It's for some reason it's maybe I don't get it, but I think we're evolving through it, especially after just seeing one of my friends there, and you know we cried together. Like he's 6'3" and he's like a huge man.
Yeah,
covered in
6'3"
tattoos.
people cry.
I was surprised.
okay.
I'm like, dude, like what? Like you can cry? He's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm upset. But like talking to each other and like helping each other through that type of stuff. But yeah, it's really strange. So it's called tall poppy syndrome. Have you heard of this? The easiest analogy is like crabs in a bucket. Do you know what that? Okay.
These are all new analogies. I'm learning today.
So pretty much back home in Australia, if you put crabs in a bucket, if one tries to get out, a crab will pull it down and pull it back down.
Really?
Yeah. So that's why I say when you tell someone your dream here, they want to help. In Australia, if you tell someone your dream, and again, this is because I'm Australian and where I grew up, a very small town, tell someone your dream, they kind of just like, okay, like best of luck. Like there's no support there. Or if you,
I'm surprised you have such an optimistic view of the States.
well, maybe because I'm a foreigner and I just come and get my dick out and have a good time.
It sounds like it.
Maybe-
Because I feel like this is a dog world here too. And
True. Maybe I just see the good in everyone. But like in Australia,
not in Australia, clearly.
Well, maybe it's because it's a small town, but it's more in the sense of like people. Well, obviously we're all there for each other. Like I love Australia. I love it to bits. It's the best place on the planet. And when I have kids and a family, I want to go back there. But there is this weird culture where we don't talk to each other and we don't like check in. And there's one day of the year called Are You Okay Day, where we force each other like, hey, are you okay? Like we force the conversation.
That's better
because
than
it's
Valentine's Day.
such a big thing back in Australia. Like we lose so many people, especially men. It's huge. We lose so many young men, which is so scary. And that's also why I'm so passionate to be like, okay, like I want to make people laugh. Like I don't care if you're laughing at me or with me, but like the goal is to just get a giggle out of you, or at least change your thought like for the day, so you're not like grumpy about something. But yeah, it's really like it's scary. It is scary.
yeah, that's really bad. I mean, men traditionally experience depression in slightly different ways. Like when we learned about depression, let's say as med students from the studies that were done in the 70s and 80s, it was like you can't get out of bed, you're really tired. And that is how some people experience depression. But then the machismo men, the macho men, they experience depression differently. They want to abuse substances.
Yeah.
They want to work so hard that they forget about their family. They forget and lose all focus and they just want to gamble and get high off the gambling. So like someone may diagnose them with a substance use disorder or gambling disorder, but in reality, that's depression.
Yeah.
And they're covering their depression by doing these things,
Wow.
by having an addiction. So
Yeah.
like men experience depression in a different way. And until we are open about it and explain that this is a call for help and we need to actively treat this as depression, it's very easy for it to go either undiagnosed or misdiagnosed as something
Wow.
else.
What about women? What's the difference with women?
Well, that's why, like, and again, I think it's less of a gender thing,
Right.
and more so about like feminine versus masculine ideologies
course.
or behaviors.
Yeah.
So when the research was initially done, it was people wanted to stay at home. They didn't want to get out of bed. They didn't want to put on makeup. They didn't want to shower.
Okay.
So traditionally, back in the day, they used to say depression is a disease of women. That's not true.
Yeah.
Like the same way that we've done the opposite with heart disease.
Yeah.
We used to say heart disease is only for men. And then all these women were having heart attacks and we were missing it in the ER because women experience heart attacks differently than men. And men experience depression differently than women. And we completely fucked this
women
up.
have different heart attacks?
Yeah, they have different symptoms.
What do you mean?
So they have what's known as atypical symptoms. So what in your world is a typical symptom of a heart attack?
Isn't it chest pain and then you get like
Pressure, elephant sitting on your chest, right? This is what you've heard. This is men describing the symptom
okay.
in research because women were not studied when we were studying heart attacks.
I would study all the women if I could.
Well, you would, yes.
Yeah.
But we need to do it in medicine as well.
Fuck, okay.
Because women will sometimes just have a little jaw pain, a little arm pain,
What?
a little indigestion, and they're having a heart attack and we're missing it because we only say it has to be elephant sitting on your chest, shortness of breath, sweating,
Wait,
dizziness.
it's that small for women?
Yeah, it could be that small. And it gets missed.
Wow.
And then women get worse care in hospitals because of it, because our research was done primarily on men. And that's with heart attacks. And then depression, it kind of flips the other way. So we need to do a better job when it comes to conducting our research to make sure it's inclusive of
That's
everybody.
wild.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I guess I probably don't think anyone did.
I mean, that's why women a lot of times will go to a hospital and be like, oh, she's just being dramatic. Terrible diagnosis.
Yeah.
Like you need to actually figure out what's wrong with people and not write it off.
Jesus.
So this happens. And the same way that happens, oh, toughen up, you're good.
Yeah.
And then you see what happens in Australia.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
Damn, bro. I'm learning so much.
Next up, Harry's gonna broach a difficult subject. He tells me the details of a recent retreat he took to Costa Rica, where he took a psychedelic substance known as ayahuasca. Full disclosure, ayahuasca hasn't been fully studied in the US, which is why I don't really have much of an opinion on it. But I wanted Harry to have the freedom to discuss his experience with it, as it had a profound impact on him. I do not endorse the use of ayahuasca as a proven medical concept, but I do believe more research is definitely necessary.
What are your like thoughts with like ayahuasca? Because I've always,
Okay, yeah, tell me about your spiritual journey with
yeah.
ayahuasca.
So losing these two people, I was like, oh, what do I do? Like, I better go do some drugs. No,
I hope that's not that.
no. It kind of all like flowed, like it all just like happened, and it was a couple years ago now, but more in a sense, like I just wanted answers. Like I wanted, because when you lose someone to suicide, like you don't get any answers. You don't know why. You don't know what. You don't like. You just sit there sad, like, oh, what could I have done different? And you just have all these questions, and it just runs through your head, and you just get in this like sad momentum. And I was there for a couple months. I was just sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why can't I just talk to them? And I'd see like little signs or little things. I'd just take it as them just reassuring me that it's like all good. Just trying to find like little things that keep me like on the rails. But I went and did ayahuasca, and that was like just putting my brain in like the stratosphere. Like the first night we did it, it took me back to because it was a 10-day retreat, and it wasn't like, you know, in a house here in LA, like it was in Costa Rica, and there was very specific people there. So you have to apply with this one company, and this lady beat cancer twice. This one guy was worth like $3 billion. This other dude owns an airport. This other guy works at Facebook. Like it was a really like interesting group of people. And each day you're doing like different character building exercises, and eating clean and everything. But there was 3 times that we did ayahuasca. So the first night, it took me back to very specific memories with my brother and my dad. And I just started crying. Like I was crying for like 4 hours. Like I was just laying there. It wasn't like sad tears, but it was just like, damn, like, because at that point, I didn't have a good relationship with my brother and my dad. And I kind of resented them for things that happened within the family. So I was staying away from them, but it took me back to like being a kid and like running around and looking at my brother like, damn, like this is my best friend. And then the beekeeping thing with my dad, I would like snap, and we're pulling out honey from the beehive. I'm like, fuck, like this is my dad. Like I love this man so much. I remember just feeling that love and that passion, and that's why I was crying. I was like, this is so beautiful. Why did I let it go? Like, why am I so stubborn? But then anyway, so The next night is when I did 4 times the amount that I did the night before, because I was like, well, I'm here. I may as well see what Saturn looks like. Like, let's go to the moon. And that was when I saw my friends that I had lost. And it was like a vivid dream, because to explain it to people listening, like ayahuasca, like I could be sitting here, my eyes open and talking to you like this and everything's fine. But like when you close your eyes and like you're in like a meditative state, is kind of when it comes on, and then it feels like as real as like day. Like it feels, you're like looking around, whatever else. But I saw my 3 friends and we just like hugged and like laughed, and it gave me like so much closure. Like and it was really weird, because I went in there and my question to myself was, what can I do? Like my whole purpose was, what can I do to make more people laugh? What can I do to make my friends happy? And how can I ask my friends who have lost what I could have done different and better to make their lives more fun? And so that was the whole like purpose of that experience, was to try and like dig deep and figure out what was kind of happening. But yeah, when I saw my friends like Tavita, we were just laughing and hugging each other. We weren't talking. And then we were watching a memory of us, like right down here. We're in the corner of the room, and he's on the other side of the counter, and I'm here, and our best friend Christian's there. They're dancing and laughing and carrying on. And then we all go around, like walked around in the hallway, and we're just hugging and just saying that we love each other and just like laughing. And then we went out and had a good night. And I remember just looking at him in this, trip, and I was just like, dude, like I love you. Is everything okay? And he's like, yeah, it's fine. It's all good. Like, just keep doing what you're doing. And then speaking to my friend's mom and then our other friend Hamish, and it just gave me that like closure, which was difficult, because, I still think about them every single day, but at least whether it was real, whether it was like, Harry was on a bunch of drugs, or whether it was like, there's some truth to this ayahuasca, it, helped me find peace in that. And I think that was like the most beautiful thing about it. But I don't know. Like that was
What was your therapist's take on it when you said you were going to do it?
So I didn't have a therapist at that point. So it was a couple years ago. It was over New Year's, but I only got a therapist when my ex-girlfriend decided to start cheating on me. So I was like, okay, I should probably start talk to someone, because I'm a little bit upset. Yeah.
But you don't have to wait to get a therapist until something bad happens.
So that was someone said on Snapchat to me. She said, it shouldn't be reactive. You should have.
It's okay if it is, but I'm just saying,
I didn't
ideally.
know. Yeah, but apparently that's the best way to go about it, is to have one, just to talk to someone.
Yeah,
which is great.
Well, because we're all capable of irrational thought.
Yeah, and
irrational thought doesn't mean it's wrong. Mm-hmm. It just means it's not factually accurate in the moment.
Yeah.
Like the example I give that's really easy to wrap your head around is, if you always get A's or hundreds on your tests, and then you get an 80, it's easy to label yourself a failure, because you're like, I didn't get a perfect grade, I'm a failure. But that's not factually accurate. Right. Failures don't get hundreds on tests. Yeah. So you have to change it and say, I didn't do great on this test, but I'm not a failure. And just changing that thought and giving the power back will take away some of that depth of the depression and anxiety, and some of those symptoms will abate. It's not a cure-all.
Yeah.
You still feel sad.
Yeah.
And it's okay to feel sad, especially if you lose a loved one or a family member. Like, grieving is normal.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many people come to see me thinking that they're depressed. They just lost a family member a week ago.
Yeah.
That's not what depression is. That's a normal human experience, to feel sad.
Yeah.
So therapy is important. And like, I went to therapy and I needed it, and I was very open about it on YouTube when I went to
really?
it. Yeah.
What was that response like? Were people?
Right now, a lot of people give credit to people for talking about therapy openly, where if you did it like 20 years ago, it was maybe even stigmatized more.
Yeah.
So I think it's changed. I think what I learned from therapy is everyone has different sort of learnings from therapy. And my learning was unique in that I was trying to treat myself as a patient, like over and over again, even when it wasn't working.
Wow.
And I actually needed to stop.
Wow.
Which is so the opposite of what I thought would be the recommendation from my therapist, where it was, I'm like, but I'm doing the cognitive behavioral therapy. I'm doing what I tell people to do. And she's like, you're doing it so much that you're reliving the same issue.
Holy shit.
So you actually need to stop doing this shit.
Wow.
And you're reminding you keep telling, like, for example, if you were to say, is it good to share your troubles with your friends? Good or bad?
I think, yeah.
Good, right?
Yeah.
But I was doing this shit so much with so many people that I was just reliving it, where actually the good thing became too much. Eating carrots is healthy.
Yeah.
But you eat a lot of them, you turn orange.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, beta carotene within carrots will turn you
You did
orange.
that?
Yeah.
Damn, bro. I'm going to try it.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Bro, next time you see me, I'm going to be so orange. and then as you go, I'm like, yo, you want to see my carrot? My cockroach?
But you see how like too much of a good thing can be a problem.
Yeah.
So I was doing too much of the therapy.
How did you find a good therapist? It's a question I get asked a lot, and I want to hear your answer.
I had a friend referral
Yeah.
from my brother's wife, who's a therapist. Someone in her office she recommended.
Nice.
Said she was good. I mean, I think friend referrals
Always the best.
is the best way to go.
Yeah.
But the way that I tell people to think about a therapist is like it's dating. Your first meeting should be an evaluation for both of you.
Yeah.
They should be evaluating how to help, and you should be evaluating whether or not you can connect with that person.
Yeah.
Because more so their degree, what type of therapist they are, what school they went to, whether or not you connect is the most important factor if it's going to be successful.
Yeah. Did you see all the stuff going on with Jonah Hill and his ex? She was talking about his therapist being
I saw that
unethical.
something happened. Yeah. What happened with that?
Oh, so they broke up. Whatever else, I'm not sure like the details, but she was posting all their screenshots and she was just wilding out on her Instagram. Obviously, I got sucked in the rabbit hole. I was like, this is crazy. Like, what's going on here? He was talking to her very like horribly, but the reason why I was touching on that is because she started posting links about his therapist being unethical because they obviously had a big Netflix show where they sat down and spoke about
the
stuff.
media world is so unnatural. It's so hard to like figure it out.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if it's true or not, but I thought maybe, that's like an interesting way. But apparently it was because in his therapy sessions, he talks about himself, and apparently that's not okay. I don't know.
I'm not a therapist, so I'm not going to comment on it. I mean, I do introduction to therapy within my practice. So like that's something I do. But I think everything about media and social media is unnatural.
Yeah.
Like if you go into a room, you can feel whether or not you're upsetting someone because you're sitting in front of them. You see their emotions. You can read it. It's like a natural phenomenon. But when you're behind a screen and there's a million people, none of that is natural.
It's true. Yeah.
Right? Like our bodies, our minds are not adapt to this.
Yeah.
So it's so easy to understand why someone who gets famous at age 16 has a lot of trouble growing up. Like I'm thinking of Justin Bieber or somebody.
Yeah.
That's really tough on people. So
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, totally unnatural. Like, how did it feel? Like, I'm sure there was a moment when you were having success with your shows and people were hitting you up and it was fun, where maybe you said something wrong or you did something wrong and people came down on you. How did that feel?
Bro. So, the first thing was when the show was coming out, it was during COVID, right? It was so crazy that I started having like I was getting 2 million story views every single day. Jesus. And then the day I hit 1 million followers, that day I hit 2 million followers. So the growth was like insane because everyone was at home, everyone was locked in. It hit like 51 million households. God. There was so much buzz around it and it was such the biggest blessing. But there was one day I remember sitting on the couch and I got so red and flustered and I felt like my blood pressure and everything get up and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And my friend is like, hey, like you got to separate from your phone because it was just so overwhelming, refreshing, seeing all this stuff. There was one photo, I got 100,000 likes in 10 minutes. Like, remember just seeing all this stuff. But then when me and my ex from the show broke up and she made this like YouTube video, which was just completely untrue and just not very nice. And then was in comments and saying all this stuff about me. And then I started like losing followers for the first time. I lost like 400,000 followers. And then that moment, I was like, wow, I must be such a horrible person. I must be so bad. And it made me like, I took it super personal. But all it was is, we're not building an audience because like they grew with us and they love us and they want to be with us forever. We're building an audience because they just watch us on a show and they're bored, they're at home, it's COVID, and they just want to like go wherever the drama is and like, feed off that, which is fine because I do it as well. But when that stuff happened and it all came crashing down, dude, I ran away. Like there was a moment where like I remember walking around the streets and I texted my manager. I was like, dude, like I don't know, like I'm not doing okay. Like I'm really not like holding up. And thank God I had a beautiful friend group around me. Like they took me to Arizona. We went to this place called Sedona, and my friend's mom is like a shaman, and I don't know. She just like sat there and like helped me like think more spiritually and a little bit higher up, and like, hey, like this isn't gonna define you. Like turn your phone off. It actually doesn't matter anymore. And that was like the biggest like power move. As soon as I just turn my phone off, I'm like, oh, it's all gone. Like I I'm alive. Like everyone around me loves me. Like I'm surely I'm not that bad of a person. But yeah, it's just.
Well, that's what therapy is.
Yeah.
Right? Remember what I said, the irrational thought of I'm a failure? You labeled yourself a bad person.
Yeah.
Look, I don't even know what you did with your ex or whatever happened. Maybe you did a bad thing. Maybe you even didn't, but I'm just saying, let's say you did a bad thing. You did a bad thing doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad person. That's like full on labeling everything around you, or everyone hates me now. If 400,000 people unfollowed you, how many more millions still follow you or still do care? But it's hard in that moment.
Yeah.
And that's where I don't know if shaman is what my first recommendation would be, but a mental health specialist would help you get to what is the irrational thought that I'm a failure, no one likes me, all that. What can we replace it with? 400,000 people didn't like what I did, but 2 million people are going to stand by me, or my friends around me are going to stand by me. Just that will prevent that deep, deep hole that you were starting to go down. Because it's scary, man. It's like,
have you ever been in trouble like that?
The closest that's ever happened to me was during the pandemic. I went for a weekend in Florida and I was pictured on a boat without a mask because I was swimming. And I know it sounds funny, but like I lost a lot of business because of it.
Really?
People started questioning my medical ethics, which
Because
are like,
you went for a swim without a mask on?
yes. And like there was like a gathering of people. So they're like, you shouldn't have done it. No, look, to some degree, I have ownership of that because what happened was people would take my messaging from early on in the pandemic when we didn't know what was going on. And I was telling people not to go out because we didn't know. And hospitals in the city were terrible. We were all struggling in the healthcare setting. Then over the summer in New York, we learned like, okay, being outdoors is a safer place to be. If you're going to gather, make sure you get tested. So I did all those things thinking I was good, not realizing that if someone takes that picture and weaponizes it, how much it can hurt the message.
Right.
So I messed up there. But it was a learning opportunity. It was a dark place.
How did you move through that mentally? Therapy?
Mm-hmm. Without therapy, I'd be screwed.
Yeah. God, it's so
Because-
scary.
Look, we all define ourselves with certain values or like the way you see yourself as funny. I saw myself as like the doctor who gives people accurate information.
Yeah.
And it felt like that struck a hole in that exact character that I built for myself, the trustworthy doctor. And I was like, damn, no one will see me the same way. And that was obviously to some degree an irrational thought because
it's hard in the moment though. Like when
Very
you're in the
hard.
bable,
the emotional reasoning kicks in. That's why we all need therapy.
And the issue is also, I've noticed whenever something's going bad, you're looking for those comments.
Of course.
You're looking for the nasty one to be like, okay, it validates why I feel this way because I'm so sad. I should be angry. Like one of my friends, Joey Sasso, he was on
the podcast.
He was?
Yeah, he's an awesome guy.
No way.
Yeah.
I love Joey.
Yeah.
He's the best. But his show, Perfect Match, came out, and I remember him calling me. He's like, dude, I know you've been through some stuff with stuff online before. What do I do? And he was having some girl troubles. And I just said, man, like, get off your phone because I know you're looking for those comments.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, but like, what if she, I'm like, dude, like, it doesn't matter. Like, turn your phone off. Like, who cares? Like, you're great. You're a great dude. Like, someone has a bad idea of you. You have to understand, not everyone's going to like you. Like, we're on reality TV. We're in the perfect industry to be judged. Like, we're going on this show, not for talent, not for skill, not for anything, but to be like, you know, these guys are dumb and hot and we're going to judge them. Like that's it. Like you're not singing, you're not acting, you're not doing anything. Like we're just being judged. So like you have to understand that's what we're setting ourselves up for. So when you're upset, stop looking for those comments and turn your phone off, like limit your screen time. I know it's hard. I've been there. And I think it helped him. But he's the best. Like he's such a sweetheart.
It's tempting to doom scroll. I do that sometimes. I catch myself, especially before going to sleep at night, which is the worst time to do it.
Yeah.
To go on Reddit or something and read some things. And I'm just like, damn, this is unhealthy.
I did that. One of my exes, her sister commented something like pretty rude and like just uncalled for on my stuff. And I was like, oh my God. Before bed, I was like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to expose this. I'm going to post about all this stuff. And then I remember sitting there, I'm like, why? Like, who cares? Just block it. Like, block it. And, oh, it doesn't matter anymore. I just blocked this person.
Yeah.
It sucks though.
It really does suck because at the end of the day, you don't want to feed into it and start making a whole big deal about it, and managing it feels, again, unnatural. And I used to judge myself where I would say, okay, I need to disconnect because I was going into these dark times. And I would say, wait, that means I'm not strong enough to handle this.
Really? You would
Because
think
I'm
that?
like, you have to go into there and read those negative comments because there might be a sliver of truth and you can get better from that. But at times when you're in a really dark place, no, disconnecting and hiding away from it is actually ideal.
I actually, one of my friends yesterday, he was telling me about like, there's like there's two people inside you, right? And they're always having a conversation about what's good and what's bad. And he was, helping me with some stuff that I was like struggling with. And he was telling me there's a weak man, there's a strong man. And they're always having a conversation. So maybe if you look at like a bottle of alcohol, the weak man's gonna be like, oh, whatever, like who cares? Like, let's just have a drink, let's have fun. But the strong man is like, oh, well, tomorrow we have all these meetings. And if you drink this, it's gonna be, like it's just gonna ruin your day tomorrow. So he was explaining to me like with the little things like that. So I've been trying to practice, turn my phone off before bed and try and stay away from it. Or if I see something I don't like, stay away from my phone. But the weak man wants to check it. So I've started practice as of yesterday, practicing having the conversation to the weaker version of myself in my head and being like, okay, like I understand, like the better I can articulate it to that person, the weak man in my brain, the better I can articulate it to everyone else and also understand myself a little bit better. Maybe I'm going schizophrenic, but
No, that's actually...
but I think it helps.
No,
right?
having that type of conversation is very wise. It's very similar to journaling, which
Yeah.
is very helpful with mental health strategies. But it's something I have some of my patients do.
Oh,
so
really?
when they're judging
Yeah.
themselves unfairly, like let's say they lost a family member and they're thinking like, I should be able to focus at work. And I'm viewing it objectively and I'm like, no, it's okay that you're sad because you just lost a close friend last week and that you can't focus is normal. So I have them have a made up character, Jimmy, sit next to them. And I'm like, Jimmy here just lost his friend last week and he's really sad, can't focus at work. What would you tell him? And they're like, oh no, Jimmy, it's okay. And I'm like, why are you saying that to Jimmy, but not yourself?
Damn. This is why you're a good doctor. He's good. He's good, ladies and gentlemen. He's good.
No, but this is like a good strategy because
yeah.
we're oftentimes our worst critics, or maybe we're not honest with ourselves at times even, because we're susceptible to that emotional reasoning, which is why everyone needs a therapist.
Everyone.
Yeah, because humans are just, this is a natural predisposition. And some people who have been successful a lot in their life never run into needing this for a long time. And when it happens, they're like shocked.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, I have emotions too?
It's crazy.
And traumas, like what you brought up in the past with your brother and your father, like traumas from our past, we call them very scientifically adverse childhood experiences. Different traumas can actually show up as physical ailments later in life.
Really?
Like I'll have patients come in with back pain, elbow pain, carpal tunnel symptoms, and it's happening as a result of mental health trauma they experienced as a child.
What?
Yeah.
How do you work through that then? Or how do you acknowledge that?
Well, first you have to be honest and do a proper workup and make sure it's not anatomical, right? Like how do I jump to saying that it's a childhood trauma versus like a fracture? I have to first rule it out. I have to do a proper history. I have to do a physical exam. There's signs that point to it. We have to get an imaging to make sure there's nothing going on anatomically. Again, there's no tear, there's no broken bones, all that. And then you see if the patient is open to it. You have to say, hey, I think that I've ruled out everything anatomically that could be wrong. And I'm thinking that this is real. You are feeling this. I'm not saying this is in your head, but I'm saying the root cause is coming from something mental health related. Do you want to try and talk about that? And if they're open to it, we do it. And it works a lot. A lot.
Wow.
You'd be surprised because what our minds are good at is playing remote control. Meaning we have pains all the time. We have aches as humans from sitting too long, from driving, from this, from playing sports, whatever it is. And what controls the volume of the pain is our mental health. So when you're stressed and you're anxious, you feel the pain more. Because the same way that if you heard a sound in a dark house in the middle of the night, don't you go like this and pay attention to that if someone comes up behind you, boo, you jump, you turn up the volume.
Yeah.
So you're just turning up the volume on your pain to be more aware and survive. So we have to learn how to take better control of that remote control and that volume.
Damn, bro, you're so smart.
This is not me. I'm
genius.
just translating other
This is
people's
Einstein,
work.
everyone. This is crazy. This is all out of his brain. How does he do it? I don't know. I couldn't think like that.
No, but isn't it interesting?
No, it's incredible. I'm learning so much.
I'll give you an example. You said like, how would I know if this is like happening?
Yeah.
Let's say a patient comes in, they're like, so I have this elbow pain and I'm asking all these questions from a history and they say, I'm like, what about on weekends? Does it hurt on weekends? They're like, no. I'm like, oh, interesting. What happens on weekends? Oh, well, I'm out with my friends. Well, when you're out with your friends, does your elbow bother you? Nope. What could be going on anatomically with their elbow that their pain goes away?
Like wants the weekend off.
But
Everyone deserves a holiday. Leave their elbow out of this. For fuck's sake.
But I'm just saying, if
Come
there's like
on.
a bruise or there's a fracture, it's gonna
Sometimes they
hurt
want the
all
weekend off.
No, it's gonna hurt all the
Long
time.
weekends, 4th of July. Man, my knee didn't
You're
hurt on
spending too much time with shaman, bro.
I'm doing too much ayahuasca. Yeah, like,
But
you want the
that's
weekend
what I'm
off? It's okay.
Like you could see a
Yeah, yeah.
pattern evolve where you're
Yeah.
like, oh, when you're having fun, these symptoms go away, and when you're stressed, they come up.
Yeah.
And then the patients themselves will get better at recognizing it.
Right.
And the goal is to get rid of me. I don't want to be the doctor for everything for them.
Yeah, but I feel like people come in to see you for the wrong reasons as well.
No, we do a pretty good job at filtering that out.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And we also help them so that they don't
Yeah.
have to be dependent on me.
Right.
The goal is so that they can recognize and learn when is it generalized anxiety disorder versus, oh, I'm just a little anxious because I have a big interview tomorrow. There's a difference.
Does that
is
happen a lot?
pathology.
Do people go, hey, like I'm freaking the
Oh,
fuck
yeah.
out?
Yeah. I mean, some
Wow.
people will judge their anxiety and think that they should never be anxious. That's not realistic.
Wow.
But then some people will downplay and realize, oh my God, I'm actually having panic attacks that need to be treated. And they need treatment.
Wow.
So like it goes both ways.
Yeah, I had something happen to me recently, which is my therapist like helped me through it because I saw my ex at a party, right? And first time ever in my life that I just started shaking, like, and I asked my therapist, I was like, hey, like I've never had that happen before. Like I started shaking and I like had to get out of there because I felt off, like everything started like squeezing up a little bit. And she was just like, yeah, it was like a trauma reaction. Your body went to like fight, flight, or freeze. She's like, I'm glad you decided to fly. But she just said, yeah, the fact that you started shaking is because your body's like has like this full on like trauma reaction. And I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, dude, like what, if I got Parkinson's, like what's going on in my hand?
That's how people react. And that's, look, you're playing it out right now. How a mental health emotion
Yeah.
impacts your physical health. You just said it right there.
Yeah, dude. I was like, what? Like, come on, buddy.
But that's the body does that.
Yeah.
So what's happening in your mental state directly impacts how you feel physically and how you perform physically.
Yeah.
That's why sports psychology is such a big thing.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
Damn.
like visualization and all these techniques that sports psychologists practice with athletes. Like,
Yeah.
why do you think the same two guys win in tennis every year?
Because they're really good.
I mean, why is no one else that good?
Because I'm not playing. If it was me in there,
Are you
different
are you
story.
like an athlete in your mindset?
Terrible.
No,
I'm,
really.
I'm the worst, bro.
Really? Do you play sports right
Bro,
now?
I'm so shit. I'm so
way.
uncoordinated. Like,
So like if I put you on a basketball court right now, no
bro, I
bueno?
can't even, bro. You seen how skinny these calves are? Like, bro, come on. I
So you
couldn't-
can't dunk.
Yeah, I would fall over and hit the rim.
Wow.
But no, I used to play sport growing up. Like I used to play rugby. I actually got a knee reconstruction. I tore my ACL, which was a lot of fun at 17. And then the surgeon was like, you can't run again for the next 12 months. And I was like, well, guess what? Surprise, I'm going to. I thought I was like Forrest
You're
Gump.
really good at
I'm really good at
ignoring
this
medical
thing.
advice.
Yeah, I taped it up. I taped it up.
And then you went to a
shaving-
shaman and you had it blessed?
Yeah. They poured some holy water on my knee. I'm like, let's go. And then I started playing again. It wasn't very good. Like I was, so I got kicked out of all the schools in Australia. So I had to go to school in New Zealand. And all the,
Oh, and they kicked you out of a country?
I deserve to go.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I've heard of people being expelled, but not out of
Yeah,
a
I don't
country.
know. Yeah, all the schools in the
Wow,
area were like, this guy has to go. And my dad was like,
And look at you helping people now. This is beautiful.
yeah, because I've tormented too many. No. But my parents would sent me to school in New Zealand, and all the boys are a lot bigger there, and like rugby's like a religion. So I thought, oh yeah, I'll be good. But I'm this skinny little twig, and just got absolutely pumped, which is a lot of fun. But yeah, the knee reconstruction was kind of like at that point I was like, you know what, like I'm probably not too good at sport, but the thing is, I want to breed with like a nice tall woman and just have a thoroughbred kid, and that we just train and just get on steroids as soon as it comes out the womb.
Yeah, tell me about, like, you're curious about TRT. Are you on TRT?
I am on TRT.
Okay. What led to that decision?
I went and did my blood, and and my doctor was like, hey, like he's like your test levels are fine, like it's all good.
Okay.
But he's just like, you could be better.
Oh no.
And
Hyper optimization.
And I was like, well, let's f***ing juice me up.
No way. Is that really how the conversation went?
No. It didn't. It was obviously like more serious because I was, when I first came to LA, I think I was like 22 or whatever.
Okay.
And all my friends are getting jacked in the gym and they're looking good. And I was always skinny and long and which was fine. But I was always asking myself questions like why can't I put on size? Like I would just get like skinny fat and I just wouldn't grow as quick as I wouldn't just grow in a normal way. So that was what prompted me going to my doctor and asking the question like, hey, like, is there something that's like off?
So you wanted to put on muscle. You went to get evaluated to figure out why it wasn't happening.
Yeah.
Your doctor said your testosterone levels are normal.
Well, he said there were, I forgot what it was because it was a while ago, but he was like on the scale, on the lower end is where you're sitting.
Do you remember what time of day you did the blood work? Probably not.
No.
The reason I ask is because in general, we don't want to do testosterone replacement therapy for people who have normal testosterone levels.
Okay.
For obvious reasons, right?
Yeah.
Because there's side effects. And if you don't need it, you're using it unnecessarily, you're exposing yourself to risk.
Yeah.
The way we check those levels is it needs to be checked between 7 and 10 a.m. first thing in the morning.
Okay.
So what a lot of these clinics would do, and I've heard this anecdotally, is they would check them late at night, but label as if they were doing them in the morning.
Oh, no.
So they would get insurance companies to pay for them and say, oh, this person's low testosterone.
Oh, I see.
So we need to get them steroids or testosterone.
Okay. Come on. I'm not.
So that's not what you were doing.
No, but it was definitely in the morning because I'm an early riser.
Got
But yes, it was just more in the sense of just trying to like improve my quality of life as well and like optimize and to be bigger and faster, stronger, and athlete, whatever.
But you're not doing that.
No, I do TRT.
No, but you're not an athlete.
No, I know, but I wish. I'm pretending.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. I wear the little pants.
Are you aware of the risks?
Yes.
Tell me what the risks are.
You just get swole.
That's not the risk.
No. I know there's obviously fertility issues.
Okay, that's number one for someone your age.
So yeah, male birth control, so I can come in anyone.
That's not how it works either. Oh man. Please tell me the doctor did not discuss this with you this way.
No, you did, but I forgot. You tell me.
Oh my God. Okay, so fertility is
He's a good
obviously an
doctor,
issue, and that could be permanent in some people.
Oh.
So like in most people, if you stop, it will come back, but it could be permanent in some.
Okay.
Excess risk of developing heart disease and stroke is the bigger one, especially in younger men.
Yeah.
That's a game changer. That's not something you want.
No.
You're like, I'm good.
You know what? I could get hit by a car tomorrow. Let's juice it up.
Okay. This is not advice I would give to people.
No, of course.
But yeah, I mean that's all.
Well,
all a doctor can do is tell you the risks, and then like it's on you to decide.
But what about the good side?
So the good side is you have testosterone already, and it was normal. So like, more is not better than some.
But you get juice to the gills.
But what benefit does that give you?
Bro, it looks sick.
That's the benefit. No. We just traded heart attack risk to looking sick.
Yeah, bro. Come on.
Is that a worthwhile trade? You think you looked that bad before?
Yeah, bro. My nipples were bigger than my chest. Come on.
But I'm sure there was a way to change that.
Steroids.
No. Come on.
No. It was like a serious conversation. I also did explain to him like, hey, I really want to have kids one day.
Okay.
So I got this girl pregnant. And we've got a 3-year-old. No, I'm joking. But we did go through it, and we did like, he did make it make sense.
So are you checking your blood work regularly and doing all this
Every
stuff?
couple months, not like.
No, that's what you're supposed to do.
And then also, we check for everything. But there was like, he's like, oh, people take growth hormone and this and that, and I was like, well, come on, like, I'm not trying to look like The Rock. Like, I just want to make sure I feel and look good and get excited about life. And I think that, a lot of my older friends as well, like I've told them to go in when they're feeling like sad and depressed and want to, fully like change people's lives, which is good. But now I'm hearing about how bad it is.
Well, no.
Are you taking anything?
No.
You should
I don't
get
even
on.
take-
You feel good?
You're like, maybe you would have won your
Yeah, bro,
boxing
I
match.
actually got a needle
Actually,
over
they
here.
tested me
For the fight?
in the locker room
Really?
20 minutes before my
That's why I
walk-in.
can't do it. This is why I'm out.
So you can't box.
I'm out. I don't have a heart attack.
What was I going to tell you? Oh, in society, we view like aging as a disease.
For sure.
And I don't think aging is a disease. So fundamentally, we disagree.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, there's that Australian doctor that come out and said that. Did you hear about this?
No. Tell me about those.
It's like Tally Health or something. And they have this magical pill that makes you younger.
You're messing with me.
No, I swear
There's
to
a
God.
magical pill that makes you younger.
I swear to God. He had I was in South by Southwest and I was at their thing and they're like showing me this video of 2 mice. And they said this one.
Are
And
you a
this one-
mouse?
I could be. You never know.
No.
I'm hung like one.
You went from carrot to mouse.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like meet in the middle. So
Okay,
nice and average. No. But they were showing me the video of these 2 mice and they're the same age, but this one looked beautiful and this one looked old and withered. And it was explaining like we have this like system where they kind of dissect your life and this is what's going to make it better and this is going to make it worse. But then they have like this magical supplement, which apparently reverses aging.
Yeah, it does it.
Well,
Not in humans.
I'm going to take it. I'm going to let you.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna come back with, like, 3
we've
legs.
cured like diabetes in mice and cancer in mice, and it's great for mice.
Type 1 diabetes?
Yeah.
What?
But we can't cure it in humans
Why not?
because we're not mice.
I should.
So what works in mice doesn't.
How do we
work in
turn into
humans.
mice?
Is that really you want
Have
to
you
devolve?
turned anyone? Have you turned anyone into a mouse?
No.
Let's get on
But
that.
I have made them comfortable with the concept of aging, where they look at themselves and they're happy with their bodies and they're happy with their performance, where they're not going to take on excess risk.
Okay,
and
but what are you
unnecessarily-
taking to stay so young,
Nothing.
dude? Get on something.
For why? Am I looking terrible these days?
I didn't want to say
Oh
it.
my God. This is 8K camera over here.
You look great. You look great.
Thank you.
But are you getting like sunshine every day, or is that all like hocus pocus?
No, ideally you should get some sunshine
Okay.
in. Yeah, especially in the mornings. Like that's a good tip that people give. Like first thing, open up your blinds, or even if you go outside for 15 minutes.
I think Huberman Lab, he was saying in his podcast, like half a lemon and some salt and some water, and it helps like suppress. I don't know, whatever. I do it anyway.
I mean, look, if it makes you happy, do it, but that's not going to cure anything.
Okay.
Like it's just like not realistic. And sometimes I listen to like Huberman's a different subject because he's a professional. But like I'll see people on TikTok, they're like, you should not drink this water because it's acidic. But what you should do is squeeze some lemon in your water. I'm like, lemon's an acid.
Right.
What are you talking
That was
about?
my video. That was me. Yeah.
No, there's like a lot of people who claim to have all the answers that don't. Okay, let's just set the record straight. There is no supplements that make you live longer. That does not exist. Taking testosterone when you have normal testosterone levels as a young adult is more harm than good. It's your prerogative to take it, but it's
Okay.
more harm than good from the research.
Okay.
And that's it.
So I just come off everything now? I get skinny?
No, I don't tell you what to do.
Oh, you
I
should.
lay, as a doctor, it's not my job to be your parent.
Okay.
And no doctor should be your
Mm-hmm.
parent. Doctors should lay out options and you should decide what's right. But technically, doctors should aim to first do no harm. So
Yeah.
if they know what they're prescribing you is causing you harm, they should think otherwise.
Okay.
You're like, this is boring as shit.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I gotta ruin that
But
relationship
there's a
now.
lot
He's
of
such
fun
a good
stuff
guy.
you can do. You can get watches and stuff.
Yeah, but man,
Sorry, I know that's boring.
no.
I'm thinking, I don't know. Like, I like lifting and stuff.
Yeah, but you know how good it is to lift and to not feel sore the next day?
I know that's crazy.
Yeah, try it. Do it,
But
month.
it's unnecessary.
What about trend? Apparently trend's really bad for you.
I mean,
I haven't tried
they're
it.
all not good for you
Okay.
when you don't need them.
But this is from a doctor.
It doesn't make it better. I mean, it makes it somewhat better because they're monitoring your lab values and stuff, but it's still not ideal.
Okay. No, I want to talk about type 1 diabetes.
Okay.
So my brother got it from a virus when he was like 14 or 15, which is really crazy. And then my nephew got it as well. Similar
what's
situation.
the documentation of the virus situation?
I was so young, but I remember it was just his pancreas. Yeah, he had a bunch of ice cream at his friend's house, and he was sick before this. Right? Okay, it's a weird story. He was sick before this, and then apparently his pancreas was failing, but we didn't know. We didn't know what was going on, and then he got kind of like
Had pancreatitis.
it's something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
And then he went to his friend's house, had a bunch of ice cream, whatever. Started throwing up, was really bad, and they took him to hospital. And then they're like, hey, like your pancreas is gone or whatever else. It didn't happen that rapidly. I was also like 12 years old, but that was when he got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And then it most recently happened to my nephew as well. But he was like 17 or something, which is kind of crazy because no one in our family has had it before, and now suddenly 2 of us have developed it. Is that a thing? Because it's happened.
Yes, not everyone in a family will have it.
Okay, because I'm scared.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm juicing with enough shit. All my organs are going
no,
downhill.
but type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune condition when your own body attacks
Right.
the cells that produce insulin.
Yeah.
So you essentially have no insulin production.
Yeah.
Versus type 2 diabetes is you have insulin, but
Yeah.
it doesn't work in your cells as well because your body either produced too much of it and your body got used to it,
Yeah.
or it tried to create so much that it also burned out. And you essentially function as a type 1 diabetic, even though you're still type 2.
Wow.
It's the mechanism by which it happens is how we decide type 1 versus type 2.
So how do you be there to like? Because there's one thing I've struggled with. Like I didn't educate myself when my brother was going through all this shit. Like it kind of like scared me, seeing everyone, freaking out in our family.
Yeah.
Like how because I know there's probably people that are going through a similar situation. How do you be best there for someone who is like a family member, or you want to educate yourself a little bit better? Like because I remember I only drink Diet Coke now, or like diet drinks or diet sodas, whatever else, because that was all what we had in the house. So we weren't allowed like any of the crazy sugar stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I never knew like growing up, like how could I be best there for my brother?
The best and easiest thing to say is to go with them when they go to their doctor's appointments.
Yeah.
Especially even as an adult, when you go and you hear bad news, it's so easy to be emotional in that moment that you don't remember anything that happened in the visit.
Damn.
Especially if I'm delivering bad news to a patient, I encourage them to bring a loved one
Yeah.
so that they can also hear it. They can gauge what's going on.
If you ever text me, Harry, you bring your mum, I'm gonna be like, I'm fucked.
Yeah. No, but I mean, it's good to have that person as a support system.
Yeah.
Just the presence of someone being there, like you said, like the Are You Okay Day, that goes a really long way.
Yeah.
And how we mentioned the connection with your therapist is the number one factor of success. Having a support system is the number one factor of success of any mental health condition.
Wow.
So just having someone to call on
Yeah.
will decrease the likelihood of a suicide, of an overdose, all these things, just having the support system, whether it's a wife, a child, a best friend, a brother, whatever.
I've only got 2 of those.
You have it. If you have one, you're ahead.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of people in this world, especially post-pandemic, that have nobody.
Damn.
And we're in a pandemic of loneliness. So
Did you say that recently or someone else say? I've
I mean,
heard
a lot
that.
of people say that. I can't take credit for anything
I was
I
like,
said
damn.
today.
No, you take credit for all. It's really smart. This is really, this is stuff that I would never say because I can't remember it.
But that's okay. You don't need to have a member. You need to. Everyone has a role, and
Yeah.
your role is joy. You bring people joy.
There we go.
That's a positive thing. Maybe we can not encourage people to do testosterone
Everyone do
replacement when they don't need
testosterone.
it.
Yeah.
No, we don't
Do
need
tren.
it. This is the
And do
opposite.
heroin.
No. God, this is a medical podcast. Harry. You
Sorry.
can't.
Okay. Shit.
Okay, so where?
So don't do heroin?
Yes.
No, okay.
That's
cool.
good advice.
Yeah, good
See?
advice. No one do heroin.
Perfect.
Please.
Where are you in 10 years?
Hopefully here still
Where?
in this podcast room. Hopefully
That's
still
a
doing this
long
podcast.
time in the podcast.
It's a world record.
Okay, so you're checking in with me 10 years. What are you doing? What are you up to?
So for me, the biggest actually this is what helped me when I was going through a bit of a dark spot. I got a list of questions about like who I am in the next 5 years, and for me, the biggest goal is to be like, you know, when you watch a Kevin Hart movie or you see his face somewhere,
Okay.
and you're like, oh, I want to watch that because it's gonna make me laugh.
Okay.
Or like Will Ferrell, like, oh, I'm gonna watch that because it's gonna make me laugh.
Okay.
That's the goal for me. Like the goal is whenever you see this stupid face, you're gonna be like, this guy is gonna make me laugh, and I love it. Like that's the whole.
So are you going to go into acting?
Yes, I was in a movie which isn't out yet, but I
Okay.
had a couple scenes, and it was awesome. Like it was so much fun because the difference between like acting and like reality TV is like reality TV is like all like, I don't know, disjointed. Like it's not really a family. It's like, well, the last show I did was kind of like a family, but it's always, you know, everyone's kind of going against each other.
Very
The crew's not
competitive,
necessarily allowed to talk to you. But like with the acting stuff, I got to talk to the investors. I got to talk to all the camera guys. I got to go to my trailer. I get to talk to, you know, the person like cooking lunch. And like, I was just so excited. I was there for like 14 hours. I didn't even need to be there that long, but I was there just like talking to everyone because I was like, this is so cool. Like, and then talking about new projects they're doing. Whereas like reality TV, it's all like competitive. It's all like, okay, like, oh, I heard that you got, or like people kind of just shove it in your face. It's kind of like influencer. Like they want to show off, I'm doing so well, I'm doing this, whatever else. And it's kind of like that. But like the acting stuff, like it's an art. Like you get to see people like perform and to like be a character. And for me, like that was the most like my cup was like overflowing. I'm like sitting there, I'm like, wow, this is really cool. I get to talk to this dude that like fronted $10 million for this film and hear about his vision and what's going on. So for like, I love that whole process, but I also just like, I love everything that comes with like comedy, and like I can't watch a horror movie. I'm too scared. But I want to make people laugh and smile. For me, in 10 years, I think I would love to follow the footsteps of like someone like Chris Hemsworth, get a wife and a family, move back to Australia, raise him there, and then come back and do like really cool things. And yeah, that's the whole goal, is to just make people laugh, invest in really cool companies, and have a really solid like foundation around me, and to just do good things and not be like a drama filled whatever else. Was that a weird noise before? Or was that a bird?
A bird.
Okay. I was like, damn.
The bird was trying to amp up your message and make it.
Yeah, it was
you
my
had background music.
It was my friend that passed to be. He's probably checking in.
Okay, so you moved to Australia with a family. You're crushing it
Yeah.
in Hollywood. You're on the billboards. People seeing your face. They're laughing. 45 years go by, and they're making a movie about your life. What's it called?
Wow. No one's ever asked me this. What's it called? I don't know. Like that's because it could be a funny film. It could be something hilarious, or it could be dark with all of the hectic stuff that's kind of come with this whole journey. I don't know. Fucking get a headache with Harry? I don't like,
Get a headache?
get a hemorrhoid watching Harry?
Because you laugh so hard?
No, because you're like, dude, fuck, you make me go sick. No, I think so. I don't know. It's like,
That's a hard one.
it's a hard. What would you name your film?
Life as a metaphor.
You've thought about that before.
No, it was
This
a
is
book that I
pre-planned.
wanted to write.
Oh, okay.
But it's,
Yeah.
and I know what the last page says.
Can you tell me?
Yeah. So do you know the difference between a metaphor and a simile?
Dude, you're asking me questions.
Well, that's why I have to.
I'm an idiot. I'm on reality TV. I take my shirt off on Instagram and post photos of my
That's why I
ass.
ask. They're trying to be
I
respectful.
don't even know what a noun or a verb is.
But you know what a
Come
metaphor
on.
is.
Yeah.
Okay. And a simile is when you use like.
Oh, okay. I do that
comparison.
a lot.
This cup is like the sky because it's blue. That's a simile.
Okay, simile.
Okay, so the book is called Life as a Metaphor. And then the final page will say, so life is really like a metaphor. Oh, wait, that's a simile.
It's so good.
Not bad, right?
You're smart. You're the guy.
Now I have to get yours.
Yeah.
Come on. This is school.
This is hard, bro.
You have to end on the...
I've never thought about this
We're going
shit.
to title the podcast this.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do something crazy.
Okay.
Just something that's
Just
gonna
don't get us
canceled.
demonetized.
Yeah.
I don't want to get
That was my first thing. Yeah. Well, I swore it off. Like you're probably
That's
gonna be in
okay.
trouble.
No, that's fine.
God, I don't know, man. I've never thought about it.
Okay,
and now
that's
it's gonna be in my head for the next like 3 months, and then I'm gonna come back and be like, "Hey, Mike, this is what I was
Okay,
thinking."
deal.
But like, I don't know.
We'll
Like,
include it.
I've never thought.
Whatever you DM me.
I've
we'll
never
include it.
I've never thought about that. Like I've never thought about if my life was a movie or whatever
summer.
else, or like a metaphor for. Yeah, it's a really tough one because I think that like there's so much beauty in like the pain and the stuff that has happened in my life. And again, like man, like I've had a very privileged life, but we all go through stuff. So for my personal experience and my experience in this world, like there's been a lot of pain, and it's helped me blossom into something that I'm like, okay, I want to make it funny and beautiful. So it could be like a really depressing like drama or something crazy, or it could be like, I don't know, I was listening to Kevin Hart's audiobook, and he was like, there's a joke in everything. And he was talking about just the dark stuff that he's gone through and his family and stuff with his brother and whatever else. And just hearing his take on it made me get like a different like overview of kind of stuff that's happened in my life and be like, okay, like let's make it funny. So I feel like it'd have to be a comedy.
With some dark humor in it. I already have the picture of the poster. Can I describe it to you?
Okay,
I'll sell
yeah,
it to
you
you.
tell
You're
me,
the investor.
you tell
right
me,
now.
you tell me.
Okay. There's a picture of you, elderly,
Yeah.
gray beard, long gray hair.
Having a stroke.
So no, you have a really big beard.
Okay.
And the background's kind of blurred out black, and it's just your face.
Mm-hmm.
And on the bottom, it says unshaven Harry.
beautiful. You said it. I'm sold. This is beautiful. You prepared
Because
these.
it's-
You thought of
no,
these before.
no, 'cause it's
There's
like-
no way you're this smart off the cuff.
No, it's
Come on. You've got so much knowledge in that
unshaven
brain.
hairy. Get it?
I get it.
You don't get it.
I get
It's
it.
a pun.
Yeah, I understand. I'm not a complete idiot. Like I know I
I
am.
like it.
No,
It's real.
It's so
So
good.
would you buy it?
For sure.
Okay, I'm selling
I'm
it.
sold. Yeah.
$10.
We'll make it a book as well.
Okay.
It's just photos of my house. And my balls in the sun.
Unshaven hairy. I like it.
Yeah, it could
That's
be fun. It could be a good movie.
We'll monetize it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, dude, thank you for coming on and being so open and sharing your story.
Oh,
It's exciting
dude, thank you.
because I want to see where your career goes now.
I'm
I'm going to be cheering you on. No.
No, it'll be good. We got some crazy stuff coming this next year.
Yeah, what can people be excited
I
for?
can't tell you.
Come on, tell people something. Give them a leak.
Well, so hopefully this movie comes out, and hopefully that sparks something. Hopefully that gets me in conversations to be able to do more stuff. Because for me, like practicing acting. Have you tried?
I've tried them so bad that I'm never doing it again.
But it makes you like look within yourself, and that's what I got with therapy as well. It made me like take like a different perspective on myself.
Yeah, you're very introspective, I have to say.
Oh yes, that's mature. I'm getting mature. So sick. But yeah, it made me like look within and I'm like, okay, like, but if this is what's gonna upset the character, whatever else, like it made me like look within, and I really enjoyed that. Just taking a different look at why I react or why this character would react the way it does. So I'm really excited for that. So hopefully that film comes out and hopefully it sparks more conversations and gets me to be able to fulfill my goals and my dreams to be, the white Kevin Hart, I guess.
Nice. Okay. We'll be cheering you on here.
Yeah. And then, so Amazing Race, I filmed The Amazing Race.
Yeah, when's that come out?
It was like the celeb version, but it was like Australian celebs.
Why this?
Well, because no one's gonna know the celebs over here, but like in Australia, I'm like, I'm going up against like the weather guy that I grew up watching,
Okay.
and like one of the Wiggles. I don't know if you know who that is, but it was awesome. It was such an incredible, life-changing experience. I think it's going to be out before the end of the year. I believe so. I hope so. Hopefully, people in the US can watch it because I made an absolute cockhead of myself on it. Like it was awesome. It was a lot of fun, a lot of tears. Hardest thing I've ever done.
Wow.
Like mentally, like challenging, like, puzzles and having to figure out shit and racing all day and being in the heat. And it was beautiful. And then there's a few more stuff coming out, like a few more shows. Cause I kind of was in a moment where I was like, I'm not going to do any more reality TV. Like I want to stay away from it. I want to build this acting career out. But in Kevin Hart's book, he said like his whole goal was to be so big that no one can say no to him. So that's my whole thought process right now is I'm going to be as big and as aggressive and as loud as I can so I can get to the point where that boy in that small town in Australia who just needs a laugh can watch me and be like, cool, I can do it as well because Harry did it.
I love it.
So yeah, there we go.
How do I not cheer for that?
It's a good story, huh?
Unshaven hairy.
Unshaven Harry. There we go.
Awesome.
You're a legend.
Speaking of Australia, did you know Australians used to climb inside the bodies of dead whales to treat joint pain? Not making that up. Click here to hear that story, as well as other ancient remedies doctors used to recommend. And as always, stay happy and healthy.